The Louie Tee Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to the Command Post Game Live Show. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your Commander-in-Chief, Louie Tee. Thank you for joining me. Man, that was fun. I mean, just the entire day. I think that's the best day of football I've watched in probably 3 or 4 years. Like, our game was crazy. Panthers-Falcons was crazy. That just finished in overtime. Watched the finish to that game. Bucs-Saints was crazy. Jags-Colts, I know you don't give a shit. Neither do I, but that was on the television, and that went to overtime, right? That game was crazy. Bears-Packers, which I was heavily invested in, went down to the last second in dramatic fashion, just like ours did. The emotions that I went through watching these games, crazy, right? I mean, I went from, I never thought we were going to lose to Dallas until Mariota didn't get that first down, and we had to burn a timeout, and it was 4th and 1 because I didn't want to go to overtime. And so essentially what us using that first timeout meant to me was we're going to either go to overtime or we're going to lose the game. Because with roughly 40 seconds, one timeout from, just shy of midfield, or we were a little further back. I think we were a little bit further back than that. But yeah, just shy of midfield, somewhere in that neighborhood. You're not getting in the end zone, and there wasn't a sense of urgency from us to get there. So I thought we were going to either tie or lose the game, which, wasn't exciting to me. And then to make matters worse, the Bears, who had been leading the entire game, fumble at the very end. Packers kick a 55-yard field goal, take the lead. And I'm like, with the way the Bears have been moving the football all day, they're not getting into field goal range. Cairo Santos doesn't have a big leg, so you really got to get into field goal range for him. I'm like, they lost. And I put in all caps, the Packers are going to win. The Packers are going to win unless we win. We're going to Philly, right? And look, at the end of the day, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But we were trying to avoid going to Philadelphia, if at all possible, because again, just the knowing that that's a team that knows us really well and having to play them for the third time, I'd rather get a team that hasn't seen Jaden, right? Doesn't know his speed, doesn't know what he's capable of, only can watch film and try to decipher what he's capable of. Even Tampa has seen him before, and he carved them up with his legs in that first game. And so even they have experienced his speed and understand what he brings to the table. I would like to play the Rams, to be all, if I'm being honest with you, I'd like to play the Rams. But at the end of the day, I thought we were going to Philly. Yeah, Packers are about to win. We're probably going to lose the game. And then 4th and 1 happens, and Mariota breaks off the big run. Did you see Malik Hooker's dumbass in the back with his hand up like this, thinking that they had gotten a stop, that Michael Parsons had tackled Austin Eckler in the backfield, and the Cowboys had won the game. And as he's doing that, Mariota's sprinting past him, and now he's got to go and try to go catch him. That was hilarious. Cowboys are such dummies. I'm glad we gave them their 10th loss of the season. Take double-digit losses and go home crying to your damn mama. I love that shit. I hate the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. Nothing makes me more excited than beating them, especially when they thought they were about to sweep us. I would have been pissed off, even though we were going to the playoffs, and I would have still been excited about that. I would have been pissed off. I wouldn't have been upset on the post-game stream. I would have been cool as the other side of the pillow because we're going to the playoffs. You know what I mean? But I will say this, even with this win, we have a Dallas problem. We have a Dallas Cowboys problem. I've always said this, and if you've been watching my show for any amount of time, if you've seen me over on the NFC East Super Friends, I've always told you guys we have a Dallas Cowboys problem. We don't have a New York Giants problem. Some of you thought we had a Giants problem. We don't. Okay. There are years where we swept the Giants. There's years where they get us. There's years where we get them. We don't have a Giants problem. We don't have an Eagles problem. Even when we suck ass, we know how to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, or at least play them ultra competitively. The team that we can't beat when they're good is Dallas. And normally the game's not even close. They clobber us and beat us by a gajillion points. And even when they suck ass, we still struggle with them for whatever reason. I can't explain it, right? And I always feel like, too, Dan Quinn has a soft spot for them. He respects them too much because, like, for instance, it's 4th and 2 at the Dallas 30. What was it? That was a 47-yard field goal. So at the Dallas 29, 4th and 2, and you're going to kick a field goal? That's not who we are. It's not who we've been. But that's what you decide to do? Why? That's the same shit he did the first time when I said he's being too damn conservative and he's respecting Dallas too damn much. I do think there's a mental block there, and it's not just him. It's just us in general. When we play Dallas, we play tight. And most of these guys don't even know what this rivalry means. So playing tight doesn't make any sense. But it's just how it goes when we play Dallas, for whatever reason. And, you know, if we would have lost this game, I would have never heard the end of it from my dad. Boss man would have been giving me the business all off season long. So shout out to the fellas for making sure that happened. Shout out to the fellas for making sure that 12 wins happened. Shout out to the fellas for making sure that the 6th seed happened. Shout out to the fellas for making sure Terry broke the record in style. How about Terry on that final drive? Let's talk about that. Y'all put some respect on that man. That's a Pro Bowler we talking about. Y'all put some respect on his name. People was shitting on OZ. He had a big catch to set up the first touchdown of the game for us. Y'all put some respect on these boys' name. Yeah, he dropped the deep ball from Diami. Should have been a touchdown. Shit happens, right? But when it was all said and done, when we had to have it, like we've done all season long, we made the plays to win, and that's what good teams do. Go look at the Chiefs, right? Go look at the Chiefs. How many nail biters have they had this season? But guess what they always find a way to do? Find a way to win, because that's what winners do. They win. All they do is win, 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 no matter what. Yeah, this shit was ugly, and, like, this is not indicative of what we're going to do in the playoffs. If this is how they're going to play in the playoffs, Louie, we're going to be one and done. Okay. All right, guy. Short thing, right? We played like absolute garbage against the Saints in the second half, missed opportunities, won the game by 1 point. And then the next week, we scored 36 points against the Philadelphia Eagles with 5 turnovers, I may add. Not that we played well. I'm not flexing with 5 turnovers, but we scored 36 points against the #1 defense in the NFL. Like, this shit doesn't matter. Week to week, you wipe the slate clean, you game plan for the next squad, and, you know, styles make fights. And I think we'll match up really well with the Rams, better than the Bucs, even though I rather, you know, there's things that go both ways, right? Let's talk about this game. We got plenty of time to talk about whoever the opponent will be. We still don't know who the opponent's going to be. Bucs did win their game against the Saints, so they clinched the NFC South division. And now we await the result of Seahawks-Rams to figure out where we'll be going, whether it'll be Tampa and we stay on the East Coast, or we'll be traveling out west to LA, take on the Rams, right? We'll figure that out. And I think, you know, also the difference between the two is, I think one's on Saturday, one's on Sunday. You play the Rams, I think it's Saturday night. You play the Bucs, I think it's Sunday afternoon, right? So, you know, I thought it was a good decision to take Jaden out of the game at halftime, especially after watching Jordan Love have something to, you know, happen to his. I really think he had a, you know, a pinched nerve, or, you know, something from a nerve standpoint happened. A stinger, could have been a stinger, right? Because his elbow, he hit his elbow and all of this shit went numb. And these two fingers, he couldn't feel them. He pointed to the bench. He's like, I can't feel my finger. Like, I can't grip the football, you know? So they had to call a timeout, take him out of the game, and bring in Malik Willis. And he never returned to the game. He tried at halftime to warm up, and he started throwing the football, but they never brought him back in the game. So that's a, you know, a question there. I always feel like the Eagles get a break every time they play somebody. You know, one of their best receivers are out. It happened when they played the Cowboys the second time. It happened when they played the Bengals. It happened when they, you know, played. It was one more team they played where they didn't have their best receiver. And I'm like, see, this is that. The Steelers. They didn't have George Pickens. They always catch a break, and they're going to catch another one because I think Christian Watson, Packers receiver, I think he tore his ACL. You know, non-contact, went down. He's torn his ACL before. He knows what that feels like. He got carted off the field. He had his hands over his face. He knows, right? He's done this before. That's their deep threat. That's their vertical threat. That's the guy that can take the top off the defense. He's going to be out next week for sure. So they stay catching a break. But that's not our problem. So here's what you got to know about us moving forward and takeaways from this game. Number one, we have a run game issue. Like, our run game is obsolete now. Like, we can't run the football effectively with the running backs. However, our run game, and I'm going to look. My guess is we still ran for over 100 yards, right? 113 yards, 6 yards per carry, right? That sounds great, right? Only 18 attempts, so 113 yards. But guess what? Of the 18 attempts, 9 of them came from the quarterback. And of the 113 yards, 56 for Mariota, 27 for JD, that's 76. 83 of them came from the quarterback. Okay, Eckler 3 for 12, B-Rob 5 for 10, you know, Diami 1 for 8. So between the receivers and the quarterbacks, that's where the bulk of our rushing yards came from. We can't run the ball anymore. All of a sudden, we can't fire off the ball, displace anyone, create a new line of scrimmage. And, you know, B-Rob is running, you know, he's tippy-toeing, he's running hesitant, he's not seeing it well. I honestly, Eckler ran it better than he did today, but again, it's Eck, right? So, and I'm hearing a lot of put Chris Rodriguez in. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, Chris Rodriguez had 5 carries for 13 yards against the Falcons. Let's not act like he had 5 carries for 43 yards. He had 5 carries for 13 yards. That's just a shade over 2 yards a carry. Same shit B-Rob's doing, okay? He just had the one run for the touchdown where he broke a tackle and he had to catch out of the backfield in overtime. Let's not act like C-Rod was kicking ass, taking names. But when it's all said and done, that's a problem. That our quarterbacks are the run game right now. Like, we got to tighten that shit up. And I don't know if that's going to get fixed. We are who we are at this point of the season, to be honest with you, right? So that's one thing that was very noticeable. The next thing is we got to get healthy on the offensive line. Brandon Coleman came back in the game, but clearly he was injured, right? He came back in. There was no Tyler Biadasz. He should be ready to go next week is my guess. But we got to get healthy up front because clearly Michael Dieter up front, not okay. Not okay, right? First play of the game, he gets beat. And that, I'm not even blaming Michael Dieter. Please show me where it is okay. In what world do we live in when it's okay to ask Michael Dieter to block Michael Parsons one-on-one? The last time we played Dallas, he wrecked the game from the interior. And on the first third down of the game, you're going to allow Michael Dieter to be singled up one-on-one with Michael Parsons? You think that's okay? Like, where's the psychological sense in that? Player, you need to wash your face and get your mind right. So we gotta get healthy on the offensive line. That's the next thing, right? Next thing up, man, it was good to see De'Ami Brown. You see the difference he makes? Huh? I mean, he was really the first half offense. And if OZ would have caught the deep ball, he literally would have been the first half offense. He would have scored the touchdown. He caught the ball. He ran the ball. De'Ami did everything. He makes a difference, right? I don't think many of you ever thought you'd hear the day when we said, man, we need De'Ami Brown out there. But man, do we need De'Ami Brown out there, okay? That is facts. So it was good to see him back and doing the things that he's capable of doing because, again, he stretches the field vertically opposite of Terry, and he can do some things. He was open. JD missed him on that corner route. That should have been a touchdown. If not a touchdown, deep down inside Dallas's 10-yard line, maybe. But I digress. It was good to see Terry come to life when we needed him the most. You know, that final possession was pretty much all Terry McLaurin and Marcus Mariota, right? Whether it was Mariota's legs or Terry making big plays. OZ had one catch on that drive as well, but that was all Terry. Big third down catch where he wrestled the ball away from Deron Bland. Another catch on that drive. And then, of course, the dot from Mariota and the excellent catch. People question Terry's hands. He can't catch it with his hands. Shut up. He catches the ball with his hands all the time. Is he more comfortable catching the ball with his body? Sure. You know who else was? Michael Irvin. But guess what? His hands work. They work. And when he needs them, he uses them. Okay? That PI call on Benjamin St-Juste was BS. They're picking on him now. Okay? I know Benjamin St-Juste ain't great. And as far as we're concerned, he stinks. But that wasn't pass interference. Man turned around, located the ball. There was a lot of, hand fighting between both, jostling for position. He even located the ball and knocked it away. I swear to you that official saw it was 25 and threw the flag. If that was 23, he wouldn't have thrown the flag. If that was 0, he wouldn't have thrown the flag. If that was 1, he wouldn't have thrown the flag. He saw 25 and he said, oh, yeah, I can throw it on him. I ain't bullshitting you. Like, officials do that shit. It's no different than basketball when Draymond Green does something. That's an easy tech. Because it's Draymond Green, right? He doesn't get any leeway. None. Because it's Draymond Green. Same thing with Benjamin St-Juste. Officials know who are the guys that are high penalty guys. And they're like, who am I to stop tradition? They should have never scored a touchdown in this game. That was their only touchdown. How about this defense? Look, you can say what you want. Trey Lance had a really good game. They made Trey Lance look good, yada, yada, yada. I know all of it is coming. And I'm not telling you to not feel that way. You know what this defense is. You know what it is. I know what it is. So let's not act like we don't know what this defense is. But for a red zone defense that has been abysmal this year, we're not good in the red zone. We don't hold teams out of the red zone. That's what the game was run. Dallas made it down there like 5 times, 6 times. I think they made it down there. How many points did they score? 19, 4 field goals. They made it down there 5 times and 6 times because they threw an interception. They kicked 4 field goals. They threw an interception and not an interception, excuse me. He incompleted the pass on 4th down. It should have been a touchdown. Should have been a sack by default, first and foremost. Should have been a sack. And then they scored the touchdown, which was bogus because that was not pass interference, but such is life. The Cowboys were 1 of 6 in the red zone. We were 3 of 3 in the red zone. I always tell you, there are certain statistics that you can look at, and that will tell you why the outcome was reached and how. 3rd downs is one for me, but my favorite statistic is red zone efficiency because that's going to tell the story. I always tell you, field goals don't win games, touchdowns do. Touchdowns do. And so we went 6 of 13 on 3rd downs. All right. We're now 11-0 when achieving over 40% on 3rd downs. Now 11-0 this season. And we went 3 of 3 in the red zone. We got clobbered time of possession wise. Dallas was on the field for 37 minutes We were on the field for 23 minutes. We got clobbered in time of possession. Defense was out there a ton. They had 75 plays to our 55. It was ugly. But when winning plays needed to be made, when it was winning time, the defense stepped up, kept the Cowboys out of the end zone, and the offense stepped up and made winning plays. And that's what it's all about. So now you get to a position where, and let me say this. I don't know if he'll want to be back because there may be more money out there for him, another opportunity out there for him. But Marcus Mariota, I'd love to have him back. But his job is done here, right? His job was to come in here and mentor Jaden. That was his job. Mission accomplished. So now he can move on and mentor the next young quarterback that needs it in the league. The next rookie that's drafted by XYZ team that needs a veteran to show him the way. That's where Marcus Mariota steps in. So some team will pay him handsomely to do what he did for Jaden Daniels this year. I'd love to have him back, but the reality of the situation is he probably won't be. But I think I speak for the entire fan base, and I don't like doing that. So I won't do that. I'll speak for myself. I'd love to have Marcus Mariota back. Love to have him back. The 2 times we put him in the game, he's shown why he was the number 2 overall pick back in the 2015 NFL draft. And why he fits so well in Cliff's offense. Spread him out, allow him to use his legs, and Marcus will improvise. He threw a dot to John damn Bates. We all knew John wasn't catching that shit 40 yards down the field. I was like, hey, Marcus, why are you even throwing that, bro? Like, Jaden would never. He would never look to throw John Bates the football that far. Are you kidding me? But Marcus, you know, he's a team guy, right? Like, I'm going to give him a shot. That's my guy from practice. I'm going to give him a chance. But I'd love to have him back. Frankie Louvu can't catch. That was confirmed in this game. Another opportunity for an interception right off his damn hands. And he even said he was on the jugs machine after the Saints game. And he can't catch because he said, I was on the jugs machine. He said, I was going to make sure I wasn't going to drop that Philadelphia interception. That's why I caught it with my body. He can't catch with his hands. He's a defensive player. I'm not mad at him. I'm not glad at him, but I'm not mad at him. Right? That's why he plays defense. Jamison Crowder had a muff. Again, not his fault. You know, we got ran into, but when it's that kind of traffic, I just like to see him just move out of the way. But you're so focused on the ball. Shit happens. Guys got to get out of the damn way. We can't have those types of mistakes in the playoffs, though. Like, that's the type of shit right there. Like, you know, other things, you know, things are going to happen, right? You know, drop balls, missed opportunities. Those things happen in the course of a game. You'd like them to not happen, but they happen. You know, dropping an interception, dropping a wide open touchdown. Hope that shit doesn't happen in the playoffs. Hope Louvu or anybody else that has an opportunity to catch the football, doesn't drop it for us, right? But those things happen. What we can't have are the self-inflicted wounds, like muffing a punt or having a guy run into our return man as he's trying to field the ball. Like, you can't have that. You can't drop wide open touchdowns. You can't drop interceptions come playoff time. Now you got to make those plays. You got to make those plays. And for a team that already struggles to create turnovers, when the ball is in the air and there's a chance for you to have the ball become life, you got to seize that opportunity. So I'd like to see them take advantage of that come postseason. If we're playing the Bucs, Baker is going to give you 2 or 3 opportunities a game where he's going to put that bitch in harm's way. And we got to be ready to seize those opportunities. But we also know Baker's going to run that bitch. And that's why I don't want to play Tampa Bay. That's the biggest reason I want no parts of the Bucs. We don't know how to tackle and wrangle and corral mobile quarterbacks. Trey Lance was giving us fits today. Even when we brought pressure, the same thing we did to Jalen Hurts before he got hurt. We came with a pressure. We restricted the pocket, but there was still a gap. And Jalen Hurts took off and got a first down. We came with pressure on Trey Lance. Frankie Louvu gets a hand on him. He escapes. runs for a first down on 3rd and 13. That's the type of shit we be on. And Bake killed us in the first game of the season. You know, a lot of things have changed since week 1 when we played the Bucs the first time. A lot of things have changed. The thing that remains the same is we still can't tackle mobile quarterbacks. So for that reason alone, I want Matthew Stafford, because even if Matthew has time in the pocket to carve us up and be surgical, so be it. But if we finally do get to Matthew Stafford, his ass ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Whereas if we get to Bake, we probably won't even get his ass down on the ground. Probably still won't get him down on the ground. So that's a problem. You know, we can't tackle mobile quarterbacks. And that's something that has to change. But I was encouraged by Frozone today. He played really well. I was encouraged by Jeremy Chin. I thought he had a strong game as well. I was encouraged by the linebackers. I thought Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu played well. Bobby pushed Ferguson out of the back of the end zone. Louvu made a boatload of plays, a tackle for loss, an interception opportunity. I don't know what he was doing on that play where he tried to give himself a concussion. I'm like, Oos, chill, bro, chill. You wildin', B. But when it's all said and done, the guys we know we can count on, you already know who they are. You already know who they are. Don't go looking for unsung heroes this time of the year. You already know who the guys we can count on are. On defense, it's Wagner, it's Louvu, it's Frozone, it's Dante Fowler Jr. in spots. It's Chin. And if Lattimore comes back, Lattimore. And the general, I like the general. You know, he's not always clean, but it's the general, right? He's not Allstate, he's not State Farm, he's not Geico. We know this. He's not Progressive. He's the general. But he's still insurance nonetheless. But don't look for Deron Payne or John Allen or Johnny Newton or, you know, Cleveland Farrell or someone out of the blue to just step up. If they do, it's found money, right? Oh, look, I found $20, right? Don't look for those guys to do anything impactful, though. Just hope they do their job, stopping the run, eating up blockers to allow the backers to get to the football. Like, don't look for those guys, right, to do anything. Don't look for Percy Butler or Defoe if he's in the game. Like, don't look for those guys. Don't look for Benjamin St. Juice to do anything noteworthy. You know who the guys are. You on offense, right? Like, don't look for Luke McCaffrey to do anything, right? Every now and again, but don't look for Jamison Crowder to do anything, but he's capable. Don't look for Ben Sinnott to do anything. You know what the offensive line is. Like, understand, don't look for John Bates to do anything, right? Like, understand who we are. It's Ertz, it's Terry, it's Diami, it's Ozzie, it's Eckler, with a smatter of B-Rob now. And it's pretty much all 5. You know what it is. We know who we are. We know what we do. We know what we don't do. Now you just got to execute. We tried a trick play. It was drawn up beautifully, and we couldn't execute it. That's frustrating. But it's good to see it work. I almost wish you would have kept that shit in the tuck for the playoff game. I almost wish you would have kept that in the tuck for the playoff game. But probably not going to run it in the playoffs. Anyway. What did Rico Dowdle run for today? I felt like we stopped the run pretty good today. I didn't feel like the run defense was trash. Now, I know we gave up a lot of yards on the ground, but a lot of that too was your boy running. So Rico Dowdle, 22 carries, 72 yards. That's a good day on it for us. That's 3.3 yards a carry. Yeah, he didn't gash us, right? Deuce Vaughn got us. There was a little stretch there where Deuce Vaughn was getting 8 and 7 and 6, right? He had 6 for 37. That was too damn much. Trey Lance had 6 for 26. So that's where the damage came, right? Is between Deuce Vaughn and Trey Lance. They had 12 carries for 63 yards. 12 carries for 63 yards. That's over 5 a pop. That's where the damage came. When they were handing it to Rico Dowdle, I thought we did a really good job. But we saw a lot of Deron Payne at defensive end too. They won't effing around, right? They went straight to the run stopping, look, and it was pretty effective. But the biggest thing the biggest deficiency I see right now for us is our inability to get to the quarterback. That's going to be our Achilles heel when you're playing a team like Tampa Bay or the Rams. If you can't get to Matthew Stafford will get surgical with that bitch. Baker Mayfield will get surgical with that bitch if you give them all day to throw. And at times, there was one play where Trey Lance, I think he might have stood back there for 10 seconds. I watched Dante Fowler Jr. get chipped up the field, spin off of that, run 3 more steps, spin off another guy, and then run and made a beeline for Trey Lance. Literally, I watched Dante Fowler Jr. fighting for like 7 seconds to try to get to Trey Lance. And then he throws a strike to Tolbert. But shit, how is Tolbert not open? You asking corners to cover for damn near a half of quarter. How the hell is he not open? Like, that's the shit that bothers me right now is we ain't getting no pressure. Even when we blitz, a lot of times we ain't getting home. That's the scary shit. But I really feel good. I said all of that, and I'm gonna tell you, I feel good. I don't give a shit who we play at this point. We gonna be all right. We going into the postseason winners of 5 straight with a ton of confidence. And we pretty much got through this thing unscathed. Again, we got to check on BC, right? Got to check on Oos. Both of those guys return to action, but you know how that return to action shit goes. You cool, adrenaline's pumping, blood's flowing, blood gets to settle, swelling sets in, and it's a totally different ball game. So we got to check on BC. We got to check on Oos. And then we got to check on all the guys that missed this game. Quan Martin ended up having an illness. So we missed him on the back end, obviously. There was a lot of 22 out there running around doing nothing. But when it's all said and done, he should be fine for next week. And I'm going to take this group against anybody. Like, I know who we are. I know what we do. We talking about the playoffs. We in the playoffs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. Man, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Cowboys put up a valiant effort, and I love that we gave them their 10th loss of the season. Take a 10-piece home with you, right? Get out of here. Jaden Daniels is now 4-2 as a starter against the NFC East. That's a big number because we're going to be keeping a running tab of his NFC East record, as we always do with these quarterbacks. He's 1-0 or 1-1 against Jalen Hurts. I know Eagles fans don't want to hear that, but Hurts started the game, so he gets credited with the loss. And Jaden started this game, so he gets credited with the win, right? So we went 4-2 in the first year of DQ in the recalibration in the division. Should have been 5-1. You should have swept this Cowboys team, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. We didn't. You win 12 games. Let that sink in. Are you not entertained? Let that sink in. We won 12 games. Something we could not do for over 30 years. 34 years to be exact. We couldn't get this done. And it takes DQ to come in here, and in year 1, we get it done. Insanity. Or as Joe Davis said, preposterous. What a fun ride that regular season was. And as I always tell you, we've only just begun to win. We just getting started, man. This party just getting started because we going into the playoffs and we looking to wreck shit. We walking over to the DJ booth. We like, yo, put this record on right here. We finna turn up. Put this record on right here, right? We got a list of records we got for the DJ to put on so we can turn up. I got 5 on it. We're going to start with that one, right? Then, nuck if you buck. Nuck if you buck. Nuck if you buck, boy. Like, we ready to turn up. They ain't ready for that type of energy. We finna have some fun, man. I don't know how long we gonna stay. But while we in the party, shit's finna get wicked. Wicked, 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 wicked. Wicked, 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 wicked. So, with that said, took care of the Cowboys. Wasn't pretty, but it was gritty. And most importantly, it was a dub. Did what we needed to do. Secured the 6th seed, right? It was funny. Somebody in the mob said, man, relying on Chicago to get the 6th seed is nasty work. And I said, ain't it though? You know, we've turned the Chicago Bears into our sworn enemy, or they turned us into their sworn enemies. We didn't have any beef with the Bears until they brought that shit to our doorstep. And now here we are asking Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears to do us a solid. Well, turns out we didn't need them, but boy, it felt a lot better knowing that they had already won, no matter what happened in our game. But you wanted to beat Dallas. Like, forget about all of that shit. None of us wanted to lose to Dallas. But I know I wanted that 6th seed. I do know that. So you had the best of both worlds, right? I hate that the Packers got as banged up as they did, because now I feel like they're going into, you know, the link is food, right? They can't get Jordan Love right. Christian Watson isn't coming back. They look like food, but we'll see what happens. I ain't worried about them. I'm worried about us, because it's about us. Anyway, we took care of business. We got Terry the record. Damn, that was an epic way to get Terry the record, wasn't it? Man, how much did he end up with in this game? He had about 4 catches on the final drive alone. How much he end up with? 8 catches, 62 yards, and of course the game winner. OZ ended up with 2 for 51. Imagine if he would have caught the deep one. He might have had 90 yards receiving and another touchdown after 16 games of after 15 games of no touchdowns. No, that's not right. 14 games of no touchdowns. He had 2 against Philadelphia, another 1 against Atlanta. Or did he have 2 against Atlanta as well? He had the 1 at the beginning. How many touchdowns did we score? We scored 30 points. So that means we scored 3 touchdowns. No, we scored 4 touchdowns because we scored that 1 in overtime. 4 touchdowns and a field goal because we didn't kick the extra point. He scored a touchdown. Ertz scored 2 touchdowns. And Rodriguez scored 1. So he had 1 against the Falcons, 2 against the Eagles, and he had a chance to go 3 straight games after the first 14 games. He scored nada, and he dropped it. He dropped it. But I digress. That was an epic way for Terry to get the record. We wanted it for him, and he got it, and couldn't happen to a better guy. I don't know if y'all got to see Mike Evans break the record or tie Jerry Rice, extend his NFL record of most years to start a career with 1,000 yards receiving, and then tie Jerry Rice for the most years of 1,000 yards receiving in an NFL career. Mike Evans is something else. And remember, he missed time this year, did Mike Evans. And they had the game won. All they had to do was take a knee. The crowd was chanting, Mike, 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 Mike. They put him out there, put Bake out there. They threw him a little, quick, 5-yard out. He turned up the field. All he needed was 5 yards. Turned up the field, got about 9 yards or so. And his teammates mobbed him. It was great, man. And again, Mike Evans, I can't think of a more deserving receiver for that to happen to. He's a Hall of Famer already, and he extends his streak to 11 straight years of 1,000 yards receiving. That was dope. And that's what I want for Terry, right? I want Terry to do what Mike Evans did, because Mike Evans never truly got the respect that he deserved in his career, but he forces you to give him his respect by posting numbers every single year. That's what I want for Terry here on out, right? He can be Mike Evans here in Washington. Terry ain't got to go nowhere. And Terry's game is going to age well because he makes contested catches. So even if he loses a step, Terry's still going to be wildly effective because he can catch the ball in tight quarters like he did on that touchdown grab. So I want to see Terry just stockpile season after season after season with JD5 and start building a Hall of Fame resume, because that's a Hall of Fame dude right there in Terry McLaurin, and I want him to be a Hall of Fame player. So what a finish to the regular season, to a regular season that has just been so much fun. Could it end any other way than a nail biter that has you at the edge of your seat as you know you're competing against the 7-9 Cowboys with Trey Lance at quarterback? We shouldn't give a shit about this game that much, but it's the Cowboys, right? And you want to win, and you want 12 wins, and you can't fathom being swept by Dallas with the season that they just had. You can't even make sense of it. I wanted that shit bad, and I know all of you did as well. And this one fits right in line with the Atlanta game last week and the Eagles game the week before and the Bears game and the Steelers game and, all of the close games, the Cowboys' first game and all of the close games we played this season, the first Giants game and the Cincinnati game. We've had a bunch of these this season, and we've came out on top more times than we have not. And so this has been a roller coaster of emotions this season, but in a great way. And I told y'all that before the season started. Didn't I tell you? I did not expect 12 wins. Couldn't have predicted that. Hands up, you got me. But what I did expect was for this to be a fun season. I did expect this to be a fun season. How much fun? I couldn't have predicted how much fun we were going to have. But I knew it was going to be fun. And we're not done. We're just getting started. Gonna get to the comment section, see what you guys have to say. But before we do that, let's go ahead and go inside the odds, brought to you by BetUS. Come up on the other side, and we will get to the comment section. Let's go inside the odds, brought to you by BetUS.
Inside the odds.
Looking for a new book this season? BetUS has you covered. Fastest payouts in the industry. Get up to 10% back on your net losses twice a year as long as you've been active within the last 6 months. And here's the big kicker. For new users, head over to betus.com. Use the promo code YouTube150 to get you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000, 125% sign-up bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. Big shout out to BetUS for providing us with these odds for the game. Commanders went off as 4.5-point favorites. We won the game by 4 points. Wouldn't you know it? Vegas, they know a little something, don't they? Always tell you buy the half point, push it to 5. 23-19. I thought we were going to score 30 today. I did. And the opportunities were there, obviously. You know, we missed some opportunities in this game to make some big plays. And so ultimately we did enough to win. The over-under, or the total for this game, the over-under total was 44. How many points did the two teams combined score? I'll give you a guess. I know some of you aren't the greatest in math. I'll give you a shot. If you said 42, you'd be correct. I thought we'd hit the over there, right? I thought we hit the over on 44. But we fell just shy. I thought we were going to score 30 by ourselves. And I thought the Cowboys were going to score 19. So I had 49 as the total. You saw I think I had 31-19. So I had 50 as the total. But at the end of the day, the Commanders got the win. That's all we care about. Finish the season 12-5. Check off the Cowboys box. Checked off the Eagles box. Checked off the Giants sweep box. And off to the postseason we go. Off to the postseason we go. Big shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this stream. So, with that said, let's get to the comment section. See what you guys have to say. Got a couple of new members. Fat American, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Amir Williams, you also stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB mob. You know what to do. Show Fat American and Amir Williams some love. Welcome them with open arms. Welcome to the squad. Fat American and Amir Williams to the MOBB. Best squad in the land. JB, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, Lou, don't you hate when Mark Sanchez calls our games? I do. I do as well. I think he has some sort of bias with us. Remember, he did play with us. It was not a great experience for him. And maybe there's just a little, dissension there. Just in the corner of his heart, he has a little disdain and hate for us because of that. Whatever the case may be, I don't personally think he cares for us all that much. But it is what it is. We can't control who they put to call our games. All we can do is go out and find a way to get it done. And in the 2 games that he's called for us, we've won both of them. Even though we didn't love his calls, we won both of the games. So it is what it is. Extraordinary for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, 12-5. Never seen in my 29 years of life. We up. I love it for y'all. I love it for those of you who have never seen anything remotely close to this. A lot of you have only seen 10, and that was back in 2012, right? Most of you haven't seen anything remotely close to this. And again, we're just getting started. It's just getting started. It's party time. Oh, it's party time. Yeah, we having a party. It's just getting started. And so if you think this 12-5 is where it's at, wait till we 13-4 and 14-3 and 15-2, because that shit's coming as well. As we continue to build this roster and JD5 continues to grow, and this defense gets better and better, wait till we keep building this thing. Happy for you and all the others who haven't seen anything like this before. Captain Obvious, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Captain Obvious writes, just my 4th heart attack in the past 30 days. That's just it. Just your 4th one. Whether it was the Saints game, the Eagles game, the Falcons game, or just your 4th one in 30 days. No worries. Just get the defibrillator out. You're fine. You're fine, right? You're fine. Just get the defibrillator out. Clear. Bring you back to life, Captain Obvious. He said, congrats to Terry for the record. No sweep. All in one fell swoop. No sweep. Succeed. Terry record. 12-5. All is right with the world. Celebrate. CJ shoots photos. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. CJ shoots photo, writes, no more Halloween candy before the game. I swear those Butterfingers the receivers are eating are killing us. Hats off to the comeback. Great finish. I felt like there was a lack of focus early in this game. Both sides. The attention to detail didn't feel like it was there. And look, they're human. We can sit here and we can, talk about the focus being on Dallas and, finishing this thing out strong. But those guys are human. They won a big game last week. They clinched their ticket to the playoffs. Yes, we wanted to beat Dallas. Yes, this one meant something. But, no one's going to admit it. But, of course, there was just a tad bit of a letdown. For sure. You went from a playoff environment a week ago, home crowd crazy, right? Lights flickering, all of the lights, Sunday night football. It didn't get much bigger than that. Playoff atmosphere with a spot on the line, and you win a thriller in overtime to, hey, you got to play the 7-9 Cowboys starting Trey Lance for the first time. Go ahead and rev it up for that one, right? It's not the same. I'm not trying to make any excuses for them. I need them to perform if they're on the field between those white lines, but they're human. Shit happens. I expect the type of intensity that we saw last week against Atlanta early in that game to be replicated when we play, whomever we play in Wild Card Weekend. The Black Kid, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, it's clutch season. And you know who to call when it's clutch season. You call 5. If he don't pick up, call 17. And if he don't pick up, call 86. Colin Talking Sports. Colin Talk Sports, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Colin Talk Sports, welcome to the squad. Glad to have you on board. Joshua Farish, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Joshua Farish writes, seems like we didn't have a good game plan today. I wouldn't say we didn't have a good game plan. I just don't feel like we executed. I don't think we executed very well. And when you don't execute, it feels like you didn't have a game plan, right? A good game plan. But if Terry catches that outbreaking route, is that a game plan issue or is that a lack of execution? If OZ catches that touchdown, is that a game planning issue or is that a lack of execution issue, right? There were opportunities. We just didn't take advantage of them, right? So I don't think it was a game planning situation. I think it was more of we just didn't execute. We weren't our sharpest today. Frankie, yo. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Frankie, yo, writes, not superstitious, but last year when we played the Falcons, I had surgery and missed the game. Juice had an interception, and we had 4 turnovers on the day. I might just see if something can get scheduled this weekend. Well, if you're not superstitious, then why would you even go through the trouble of doing that, right? Just say you're superstitious without saying you're superstitious, okay? Hey, so when you scheduling that surgery for, though? Seriously. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Swaggy P writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I was watching the Bears game and our game simultaneously. My brother and I were cheering for the Bears field goal when it went in, and then Terry scored and got the record. We need to clean things up and play aggressive. On to the playoffs. Hashtag HTTC. I was watching like 5 games at once. Our game, Jags, Colts, Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons, and of course, Bears, Packers. And it's crazy. Like you said, literally, Cairo Santos's field goal went through the uprights, and simultaneously, I'm typing in Bears win in all caps. Click the enter button. Bears win, all caps. Click the enter button. And then Terry catches the ball. We win, all caps. Hit the enter button. We win, all caps. Hit the enter button. So it was crazy. They literally happened seconds apart. Seconds apart. Maybe 7 seconds apart. Literally, he makes the field goal, and then Terry catches the touchdown. And I'm screaming, he got the record. He got the record. We win. And then I said, don't kick it to Kavontae Turpin. Don't kick it to Turpin. On to the playoffs. That sounds great, Swaggy P. On to the playoffs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. Command the room. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Terry with the game winner against Dallas and getting number 13, priceless. I mean, you could have laid it out beautifully. You could have said, Marcus Mariota coming in. What do you go for? Do you go for 2 something? Marcus Mariota coming in. Damn, Gerard Mayo. Breaking news. Gerard Mayo fired. I retweeted Adam Schefter, segment on ESPN this morning where he talked about Mayo being out. I didn't think he was going to get fired. And they won today. And he got canned. I think they want Mike Vrabel. And they knew they couldn't wait. They had to act on it fast. I think they want to bring Mike Vrabel home. That's why they fired Gerard Mayo. Marcus Mariota going 15 of 18 for 161 yards. Cool. Commanders winning this game 23-19 late, getting the 6th seed. Nice. Terry McLaurin being the one to clinch it and breaking the record simultaneously. Priceless. Absolutely priceless. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Mariota game-winning drive in 2025. Feels good. Feels good. Man, Marcus came in and he was surgical. He took a couple of bad sacks. Like one thing about Marcus, and I can appreciate this, you know, through the journey of his career, he's done some really stupid shit with the football. I remember when he was with Atlanta on a Thursday night, they were playing against Carolina, and he's getting sacked. And as he's like this close to the ground, he turns his body, contorts it as he's falling down as he's getting sacked. And he throws the ball up into the air and it gets picked off. And I'm like, that was the dumbest shit I think I've ever seen. You know, other than somebody throwing a pick left-handed or some stupid shit like that. That's a right-handed quarterback. And he'll just take the sack instead of doing something dumb. And I can respect that. But boy, when he starts to move around and run and extend, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. He still got the wheels too. On that 4th and 1, he took off. I thought he was going to score for a second. He still got the wheels. Got any grapes? Been a member for 40 months straight. Salute to you. Got any grapes? Who writes, DQ 12-5 for the 4th year in a row. How sweet it is. Did it 3 years straight with Dallas and comes to Washington and does it again. Now, what we don't want is what DQ did in Dallas in terms of, you know, and again, he wasn't the head coach, but he was a part of some one-and-doners, right? 2 out of those 3 years, they were one and done in the postseason. That's what we don't want. Difference is the one time they went on the road, though, they went on the road twice in that span. Or was it? No. I said that right. The one time they went on the road, they won. We're going on the road. So maybe we're going to win. But they were at home against San Francisco. They lost. They were at home against Green Bay. They lost. They were on the road against Tampa, and they won. That was the only time they won. So maybe, you know, we're going to continue that, but it's different over here, man. It's different over here. He says, we've been telling Cowboys fans that he has been the catalyst for their success. They listening now. Those who don't hear, feel. That's what a wise woman once told me. Those who don't hear, feel. Captain Obvious, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, this is my 2nd favorite season. I'm so happy for the fans that missed the Jack Kent Cook years. This is a brand new team that they can love like all of us old heads have loved the old team, the teams of old. Yes, you're absolutely right. Like, this is something that they can really gravitate towards, attach themselves to, and be proud that they're a fan of a franchise like this. Because for so long, it wasn't fun being a fan of this team. We would have these coping sessions where we would ask ourselves, why do we do this to ourselves, right? You remember those coping sessions we would have? And now look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. Seahawks up 14-10 right now with 4 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, and they're driving. They're going to win that game. I got no doubts that they're going to win that game, and we're going to be playing the Buccaneers. That's what it feels like. They just sacked Geno Smith. They might be out of field goal range now. It's going to be about 57 yards. Trying to see what the score is in the Chiefs and Broncos game, but it's on commercial. Dolphins are currently losing to the Jets. They're going to lose that game. I got no doubts in my mind. Like, if somehow the Chiefs could win, then the Broncos or the Bengals would get in, but Chiefs aren't winning that game. Chiefs are not going to win that game. See what this score is. The game's coming off of a commercial break. Oh, the Broncos are wearing their throwbacks. Hey, how about that? That's pretty dope. Those orange crushes are fire. One of the best unis in the NFL. Is that the first time they've worn those this year? Probably not. They probably wore them again before. A lot of teams saving some crispy threads for this final game. The Titans had on their Oilers uniforms. Them shits is clean as a mother. Got their ass whooped in them, though. Ain't nothing worse than wearing your cleanest threads and then getting, oh, shit, Denver up 21-0. Never mind. That's done. That's over with. I told you Kansas City ain't want Joe Burrow in the playoffs no damn way. I ain't shocked. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Reedy Davis writes, Lou, F the Cowgirls, off to the offs. Indeed. That's the perfect way to put it. F them Cowgirls, off to the offs we go. And off to the couch with 10 losses, double-digit losses, you go. Go sit down. You can go have your seat with the Giants. Go have your seat with the Giants. Don Battery, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, this team has a clutch gene, Lou. It is different. Yeah, it's different. But somebody been telling y'all that all along. I ain't going to say no names. Layla Brown, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Layla Brown writes, Louie, let me just say, Terry is scary. Peekaboo. He sees you. V-Chow, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Mariota has to be the best backup in the league. Flawless in appearances this season. Has to help Cliff's resume even more in a potential comeback head coaching job. Yeah. All of these things help build Cliff's resume as, he, continues to build up his resume in pursuit of a head coaching gig. And again, I don't know if he's looking for one exactly right now, but like he said, at some point he does want to be a head coach again. And if the right opportunity presents itself this offseason, and as we see, the Bengals are not making the playoffs, they could fire their coach. And if they do, that's the job that everybody will covet. I think that's the job Ben Johnson will want. And if Ben Johnson gets that job, then it's the Chicago job. That's the only other job I see Cliff leaving for. But again, I'd tell you that Chicago job is a mess, but you get the right coach in there and it might not be that bad, So I just think that's a nasty situation because you got a GM that's on the verge of getting fired. They're not going to fire him. They got a team president that's, I don't think a lot of people love, in Kevin Warren. It's not a great situation. I'll be honest with you. Poles, Warren, that shit is all convoluted. And Cliff can do better than that. So I said, just give me one more year, Cliff. But he did it with Jaden. He did it with Marcus. Teams are paying attention. That's for damn sure. Teams are paying attention. Trevor Patch, been a member for 38 months. Salute to my guy Trev, who writes, now all the serious supers have gone. What an amazing year. Cheers, Louie and the mob. Cheers indeed. Cheers. If my guy David Brown is out there, cheers. I got my Grand Marnier ready. I got it. We made a bet. Now, I'm not collecting on the bet until you stand up and you announce yourself as ready to collect on the bet, because the bet was I had to take a shot for every loss. And I said, oh, you done messed up, David, because the fellas ain't going to do me dirty like that. This ain't going to be a 9. This is before we knew we were going to have a great season. When you made that bet, I said, oh, we finna have a hell of a season now. 6, I was thinking more along the lines of 6 losses, 7 at the most. But I'm like, this ain't finna be no 7-10, 8-9 season. Now that you done bet me and I got to take shots for every loss, they're going to hold me down. I've been one of the loyal ones. They're going to hold me down. The bet was I had to take a shot for every loss. of Grand Marnier, and you were going to come on the trip to the DR. So if you're out there, David, I'm ready to collect on the bet. I'm ready to collect on the bet. Cheers to the mob. We did it. We did it. JB3, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JB3 writes, is Deron Payne really not playing good, or are the fans overreacting? It just feels like he's not playing up to his contract. So this is the problem with Deron Payne, right? Deron Payne is who we thought he was prior to that breakout season in 2022. That's who he really is. The 2022 season was an aberration. He didn't do anything remotely close to that before. He hasn't done anything remotely close to that since. We get flashes here and there, but nothing consistent, which was the case before the 2022 season. And that's been the case since. We get flashes, right? Where he reminds us, hey, I am a first round pick, but he ain't on par with the best of the best in the NFL. He ain't on par with the dudes that do it year in, year out. That's not who he is. So I'm not upset at fans who want more from him, because he's shown you what he's capable of. But now you're looking for that and you're not going to get it. And that's why fans are going to be upset. So you have to meet him where he is and understand who he is. And as long as you're okay with that, then you're fine. If you're still looking for the 2022 Deron Payne, then you're going to be upset. He doesn't exist. That was a figment of our imagination. The Deron Payne that you see on a weekly basis, that's the Deron Payne that exists. That's real. That's tangible. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. RJ the Villain, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. RJ writes, Layla Brown, sweetheart, we are true Commanders fans. We are them boys. I love the fact that we were able to do the things that we did this season in the fashion that we were able to do that. Like, can you imagine a Cowboys fan that really wanted this game bad? How that stung, right? That stung. Had we just beaten them like the Eagles clobbered them, they would have quit on the game. They would have turned it off. They would have done. They were invested. They thought they were going to win. We did them like we did the Bears. We did them like we did the Eagles. That shit hurts when you get beat at the end like that. You know, it stings. Like when you get your ass whooped, which we know all too well as fans. You get your ass whooped, it's more of a disappointment and like an anger that sets in because, you know, you didn't even have a shot. When you lose at the end, that shit hoits. That's next level. It hoits. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, this run game is a problem. What happened? Man, I wish I had the answers. I wish I knew. And maybe, you know, our offensive linemen are banged up this late in the season. They're not firing off the ball the way that they once were. Everybody's got something. Coleman now has something with his knee. I think they rolled up on the back of his knee or his ankle, right? Obviously, Allegretti's been playing with the ankle all year. Biotish has, you know, an ankle, and then now he's got the it might be the ankle again, but Cosme, I think, is the only one that doesn't have like an injury that we know about. And then obviously, you know, Andrew Wiley has the groin he's dealing with, and now Cornelius Lucas has a groin. So, you know, we're banged up, man. Those guys aren't what they used to be. And again, I don't want to make excuses for them. They're just not getting it done. And I wish I had all the answers for you, but it just ain't happening, you know? And if we play Tampa Bay, I know we ain't running the ball because they don't have that shit. Tampa Bay, they are one of the best run-stopping defenses in the NFL. So if we are going to run it, it would have to be Jaden because Vita Vea ain't having that shit. Simply put, he ain't having it. So That's another reason why I'd rather just play the damn Rams, which doesn't look likely at this point. Seattle made that field goal, and they got the ball back, and they driving again. So Seattle's going to win that game. Like I already told you, I'm convinced Seattle's going to win the game. So we're going to be playing Tampa Bay. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Trev, writes, serious question for conversation. Let me see how serious it is. We are halfway out to LA being in Dallas. Does ownership take the team out there to camp out instead of coming home like they did early in the year with Arizona? If yes, is LA area too big of a distraction? No, you don't take the team out there and keep them out there. Here's why you don't do that, right? One, you need to come home. You need to regroup. You need to, regather yourself. You want to be like, they had to take so many things out to Arizona to recreate home, right? Recreate the practice environment, all of that stuff. It's cool to do that in the regular season. It ain't cool doing that in the playoffs. We still don't even know what the schedule is going to be, right? This could be a Saturday game. It could be a Sunday game. Whatever the case may be, you want to have us be at a level of normalcy as much as possible. You want to get them home quickly, too, because, again, it's supposed to snow, right? We're supposed to get snow tonight and on Monday. So you want to get them home as quickly as possible and let them be with their families. The last thing you want them worried about is my family okay if this is a big snowstorm, right? So send them home. Let them, be in their own bed, have that comfort. And then, you get to work immediately on the next opponent. And you want all of your stuff here. You want to be in your element when you're preparing for this upcoming game. So no, you don't go straight out to LA. And look, we're not even playing LA. You're playing Tampa more likely than not. So at this point, it's all good, right? It's all good. Shadow Striker, 789. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Shadow Striker, 789. Right. Jahan legacy game, 7 for 94 yards. Terry ends with 1,096 yards, 7th for wide receivers in the NFC, and 13 touchdowns, first in the NFC unless St. Brown gets 2. I really think he's third team All-Pro, 100 yards behind CD, but 7 touchdowns above. I think he this gets him in. We'll see. I mean, the resume would have been a lot more, big if he would have gotten to 1,200 yards, and it was feasible. There were opportunities this year. Just think about if he would have been in the lead and receiving touchdowns, which he could have been. You think about the Chicago game where he didn't pick his feet up. You think about the Cleveland game where he didn't pick his feet up. There were opportunities for him to catch. You think about the New Orleans game, and that wasn't all his fault, but one of them he probably could have caught down the sideline, but the other one was Jaden's fault. But you think about all the missed opportunities for him to have more yards, more touchdowns. This could have been a much bigger year, right, than it already was. We're just getting started, though. We're just getting started, and he's going to have a real deal running mate next year. Somebody that teams have to concern themselves with next season. And whether that guy is, T. Higgins or someone else, it's happening next year. It's happening. I don't know if he gets All-Pro. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he does. Jahan had himself a game against the Giants today, I assume. Good for him. Good for him. B-Chow, Jahan legacy game. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Greatly appreciate you who writes. Thoughts on Joe Witt Jr. this season? Feels like he doesn't blitz and doesn't do anything exotic other than blitz and Luvu over the center or edge. Yeah, I can see how you could feel that way. I would just tell you, whoop, Saints, wait, maybe the Rams aren't dead. Gotta stop. Timeout. I forgot Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback. So Jimmy gonna give him a shot. They about to kick a field goal. Let's see where this ball was caught. Not so fast, my friends. I still think we going to Tampa. Oh, he was trying to stretch it out of bounds. Stop the clock. No, they had to use their last time out. I'm not sure if they're in field goal range. They got Josh Carty, who is a rookie, but he's got a big leg. So they should be in field goal range. Huh. We'll see what they do. So you asked about Joe Witt Jr. I'll tell you this. As a coordinator, and he said this already, that they haven't protected the corners this season. And he's not wrong. They've done a lot of things this season to be aggressive, and not protect the corners. But there's also been a lot of, like zone or off man and things like that behind that cover. I think we saw more of what they want to be against Philadelphia the second time when they had Marshawn Lattimore out there against New Orleans. The blitzes aren't super exotic, but I don't necessarily know if we got the guys to pull it off right now. I'll judge him when he gets more talent. I really don't want to have this season be a referendum on Joe Witt Jr. because you can say what you want about Joe Witt. We got a top 5 pass defense. We got a top 10 overall defense or top 12, wherever the hell we are. We're top 12 on third downs. The game today isn't going to help that, but it's not going to hurt it all that much. They were 7 of 16. It's not like they were 7 of 11 or anything like that. We've been really good this season in a number of areas. And then the red zone defense was helped significantly today. So they put some time back, and they gave the Rams back their timeout. So they did say he got out of bounds. So they got enough time now. They can work any part of the field with 9 seconds left, really get this thing in the field goal range. See if they're able to do that. The Rams might not be dead just yet. Their death may be grossly overstated and exaggerated. Okay, you take it too long, Jimmy. All right, that was a bad play. Jimmy's such a clown. Jesus, Jimmy. If it's not open, throw it out of bounds so you can run another play. Now they got to kick a 58-yarder. Carty is capable of making this. The Jets just scored a touchdown, and now they're going for 2. They're up 13-6 on the Dolphins. But, this is a moot point now because the Chiefs are getting their brains bashed in. They got the 2-point conversion. They're up 15-6 now. Carty's kick is good from 58. All right, so that's another thing. If we play the Rams, they got another one of these damn kickers where, you get past midfield and you damn near in field goal range. So that's another thing you got to deal with. Bucks have a good kicker too in McLaughlin, but his leg ain't as big as Joshua Carty's. So that's something else to keep in mind. Anyway, no, I don't necessarily disagree with you on Joe Witt and his style of blitzing and how he's been operating this season. He hasn't really been all that creative. I think it's easy to block us up. We get a lot of double A gap blitzes with with Luvu and Bobby mugging the A gap. One will drop out, both will drop out, both will blitz, one will come, one will drop out. You get a lot of that. We had the nickel blitz. We had the safety blitz with Jeremy Chin today that worked and got a sack. We had a nickel pressure from Defoe that should have resulted in a sack on a 4th down, and he missed. So he's done some different things that should have worked. And, again, hard to be super creative when you ain't working but with so much. You know what I'm saying? Tony Brown, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tony Brown writes, will AP be open to more trades after giving up 2 picks already for 13? Glad to know you are a fellow Golden Domer. Go Marcus Freeman. Man, I think we got a shot to win the national championship. I ain't going to hold you, but I think we got a shot. Obviously, AP is definitely open to trades. And I'm not just talking about trading for other players or trading up or trading. I think he's open to trading back, acquiring more picks. Because, again, I told you, he values day 3 picks. I'm a sucker for trading those away and getting as much high-level talent as you can. He works in the reverse. He wants his day 3 picks because he thinks he's going to hit on some of those dudes. And his track record speaks for itself. He's hit on a number of those guys over the life of his career. And hell, you could argue that he may have hit on 1 or 2 of them already this year. We've gotten way more out of Javonte John Baptiste than I thought we were going to get out of him as a 7th-round pick. I can't even front. You know? Tyler Owens is undrafted. You know, they just put him on IR. His season is done. But he was spectacular, you know, on special teams as a contributor. Trying to think of some of those other late round picks. We haven't really seen the safety Dominique Hampton from Washington a lot this year. We haven't really seen Jordan McGee, even though I was impressed with Jordan McGee. Like, I think he's a player. But you got to keep him healthy, man. I think he's going to be a dog. I was really impressed with him. There may be 1 or 2 gems at the back of this draft that he just passed. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. He may be willing to trade back. I don't know if he's going to be willing to trade up. A lot of people have been talking about going after the Jets receiver. I don't think he's going to do that. Like, I don't think he's interested in giving up draft picks to go get a guy, unless that guy is like Myles Garrett. But we'll see. We'll see. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Lou, all my cowgirl friends won't text to congratulate. F the cowgirls. Are they hurt right now? What did I just tell you, Reedy? I said that one Hoyt. Okay, that one Hoyt. They thought they was gonna win. They wanted to brag and they wanted to laugh at us. Even if we made the playoffs, and we swept y'all. That would have been the rallying cry for them. Hey, y'all trash. Don't talk to us. We swept y'all with a combination of Trey Lance and Cooper Rush. Don't say shit to me. And what was we going to say to him? Not a damn thing. That's why that couldn't happen. Not on my watch. Man, the NFC is loaded. You got 14-2, 14-2, 14-3, 12-5, 11-6. And if the Rams win, 11-6 again. NFC is loaded. Those records are crazy. It just feels good. We got the 4th best record in the conference, behind behind the Lions, Vikings, and Eagles. Just imagine if we could have had a chance to win the damn division. And we could have beaten Pittsburgh and we had beaten Dallas like we were supposed to. We would have been right there. If you win those 2 games, you win the division, right? And now you're hosting a home playoff game. But don't worry. We'll get there eventually. Reedy, don't count on those friends hitting you up anytime soon. They hurt. They might hit you up tomorrow. But, you know, that one stung. That one stung. JP, my guy John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, I don't know if I super chatted in our last show, but we're heading to the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. First 12-win season since 1991. How sweet it is. JD5 is your offensive rookie of the year, indeed. Wide receiver needs to be top priority this offseason. Those drops were so maddening. I mean, we got a lot of needs. Corner, I would say tackle is up there. Again, I probably put tackle higher than most of you, but that's still pretty high on my list of needs. Running back, not as high as the others, but it's still something that I want them to pursue aggressively, whether that's free agency or the draft. Again, and they don't have to. It doesn't like look. If we sitting there in the first round and you like the Hampton kid or Marion Hampton from North Carolina, or Genty is sitting there from Boise, and you like them, what are we talking about, right? Like, I'm open to that. I'm not like running back is high on the list still. Tackle is high on the list still, right? But we got plenty of time to discuss that. Plenty of time. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We have plenty of time to discuss that. Hunter Hodovic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Double H. Right. T, let's go. 12 wins. My dad and I, he's a Bears fan, we're losing our shit when that field goal went in and 3 seconds later, 17 scores. Here's to the playoffs. Cheers. Here's to the playoffs. Indeed. What a sequence there, right? Bears win. Commanders win. All in one. Again, I wanted us to do it ourselves. I really didn't want the Bears' help. Like, it's cool we got their help, but I wanted to do it myself. Is what I wanted to do. So I'm glad we were able to get that done. Glad your dad got some excitement and a good close to his season. And I'm glad we moving on with the dub 12-5 and bragging rights over the entire NFC East now. G Dead Fan 88. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes. Hold on, they're showing highlights of the game. Man, Terry, clutch, man. F they talking about, Terry. F they talking about, Terry. F they talking about, Terry. We go into the off. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. Love your content. Keep up the great work. We got 5 on it. F Dallas, Philly, and the Giants. Music to my ears. We go into the offs. I got 5 on it. And F the Giants, sweep. The Cowboys, gotcha. And the Eagles, bang, bang. Got your ass too. Love it. The V Reaper. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. The V Reaper writes, watch the game while home with strep throat. Yelling during that game was rough. Terry TD almost took me out. What a magical season. Hashtag, I got 5 on it. Look, you shouldn't be yelling with strep throat, okay? You are defying all of the odds and breaking all of the rules, okay? But this team, they put you in a state where you lose your mind for a second. So I get it. That was fun, For as meaningless of a game as that kind of felt, especially Jaden getting pulled at halftime, which I was in favor of. Especially after watching Jordan Love get injured. I'm like, yo, Marcus is capable. The Cowboys stink. He's capable. And he came in and he shredded them. I mean, 15-18, he shredded them. 56 yards and a touchdown rushing, 2 touchdowns receiving. He shredded them. So he was perfect. He was exactly what we needed. Hopefully you feel better. Hopefully you feel better. Hunter Hodovic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, my heart, man, needed that Terry TD to win the bet. Oh, you had some money on that thing. You had a little something riding on that. I wanted it, I put it in my keys to victory. that I wanted Terry to get the record. You know, for us fans that have been through the struggle here recently since Terry's been drafted, he's been one of the few guys that we've been able to lean on as a beacon of light in some very, very dark times. 17 has been one of the few guys that we've been able to say, hey, we at least we got him, right? So any happiness for him is happiness for us. Anything that we feel like is obtainable that he deserves, we want him to get it. Because for so long, he's been suppressed due to the lack of success of this team. And now that we have a chance to be successful, we want all of the victory and all the spoils that come with it to go to Terry because he deserves it. Nobody deserves it more. So that record was sitting there within reach, and he needed to get it. And I couldn't think of a more epic way for him to get it. And I know, I haven't seen it, but I know there's a game ball with Terry's name on it. And DQ is going to recognize him for setting that record and make sure that Terry gets that game ball. And it's well-deserved, man. I'm so happy for him. And I'm happy for you winning that bet. Wilfredo Elias, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Wilfredo writes, like, subscribe, and hit that like bell, y'all. All DQ is win 12 games. Irony tastes a little sweeter that this is Dallas' first 10-loss season since the year before DQ was hired, which is why I wanted them to go down with double-digit losses. I was like, put a double-digit in that right-hand column for me. Do that. Hashtag raise hell. Hashtag mob. That's why all of this was so important, right? Wanting to wreck Dallas's season the right way, because we were the reason that their season turned around. That was us. We did that, right? Until they met us, they were 3-7 and struggling. And then they met us and they turned their shit around and even had crazy thoughts of making the playoffs. We did that. So it was only fitting that we put 10 in that right-hand column, just as an exclamation point. You ass, make sure it's 10 in that right-hand column, just so you don't forget how ass you are. Did you see Dak's bitch ass on the sidelines thinking they was about to win and shit? He been in the press box the whole time. I ain't never seen this clown on the sidelines at a game, and he want to come down thinking they about to win and shit. Take your monkey ass back up top with that goddamn, what's that leaf iced tea he was drinking? Whatever the hell that shit is. He had about 15 gold leaf bottles in front of him. Go sit up there and drink your goddamn tea and take this L with you. King of the Bluegrass. Been a member for 34 months, getting close to that 3-year Annie. King of the Bluegrass writes, I don't want to be stuck in the mud right now because we're in the offs, baby. But after the season, we need to talk about this team. Yeah, that comes after this shit is done. You know, there's a lot to discuss. Yeah, a lot to discuss. The good, the bad, the ugly, but there's a lot of good, man. A lot of good. Major Enlightenment. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Major Enlightenment writes, JD5 is him. 12-5, left hand up. JD5 is absolutely him. We got us one of them ones, and it feels good. Actually got us a damn good backup, too. Got us a damn good backup as well. Frank McLaughlin. My guy, Frankie, baby. Aloha, Frank. Aloha. My guy, Frankie, baby. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I was at the Falcons game, and the whole place was rocking. Haven't seen it like that since RFK. Was it me, or was there a pretty big crowd in Dallas? It sounded loud after the Terry catch. Can't wait to see the offs crowd. Yeah, so I had a couple of Commanders fans reporting live from Dallas. Big shout out. I want to say it was Daniel Morgan was one of them, I think. Somebody else was there, and they was like, yo, it's a lot of us here, bro. We in the building, and we taking over this joint. I love to hear it, man. I love to hear it. It wasn't Daniel Morgan. It was Daniel. It was DK. Daniel something with a K. But yeah. It was loud. It was definitely loud, for sure. It wasn't just you. It was loud. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, CDOG Triple OG. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, the reality is we still playing with house money. The future is bright. I was told that that's losers talk when you playing with house money. That's loser talk. I don't see it that way, OG. I see it as, hey, we just getting started, and whatever happens, happens. But this is year one. We weren't even supposed to be here. And here we are, 12-5, going to play a playoff game with expectations to win that bitch. I can't speak for you, but this feels great. Feels good, feels good. The real expectations start next year. That's when, all right, now we here. Now you got another offseason under your belt. Now you got another draft and another free agency class under your belt. Now we know what this team is capable of because we had less talent last year. We should have more talent this year. Now let's get after it. The real expectations start next year. So in my mind, we are playing with house money. I agree. And the future has never been brighter in Washington. Never. Not even when Robert was here, because that season ended. He got injured during the season. He got injured in the postseason. And, you know, shit went sideways quick. The future has never been bright. That wasn't a 12-win team. That was a 10-win team that had to win 7 straight after starting 3-6. We were good the entire year, sans for that 3-game losing streak. Everything that I've ever asked for in terms of regular season, I got it this year. How many years did you hear me complain about? I just want to be good one year. I just want to start the season off 7-2 one year. Like, actually be good the entire season. Not have to backdoor my way in by winning 5 out of my final 6, but actually be good. I got it. I want to clinch a playoff berth before the final week of the season and not have to worry about need this team to lose and that team to lose. I got it. What a season this has been. We've only just begun to win. JB, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. JB writes, let's get this dub Saturday or Sunday. We await the results from these games, and then we'll figure out who's who. But whatever happens, guess what? We watching this thing together in style. Mob, y'all know what it is. Fam, y'all know what it is. We gonna be at that watch party in Richmond, and you know it's gonna be a turn up event, one for the ages. We gonna have some fun. And again, if we win the game, then it turns into a celebration. If we lose, either way, it's a celebration. Because if we win, we celebrate and moving on to the divisional round, and we're going to be amped. If we lose, well, then guess what? We celebrating a hell of a season. Either way, it's a celebration. Either way, it's a celebration. All right? So, I can't wait. Mario Dominguez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Mario Dominguez writes, 12-5 in year one of a recalibration is crazy, man. Talk about it. Started watching in 2011. Love this team so much. The TV. So happy for Terry. He deserves this and more. Now let's go make some noise in the playoffs. Indeed. Let's go make that noise. Like, we ain't just happy to be here. Now, like I said, we want to go in here and we want to go wreck some shit. We're going to go wreck some shit. We're going to have all the details of this watch party tomorrow. We'll have all the information that we need. We'll know who we're playing. We'll know when we're playing, what time we're playing, all of that good stuff. And so then I can pass that information on to you. then we'll be able to lock in a venue, because we've been really kind of like, if it's Saturday, we're going to go here. If it's Sunday, we're going to go here. If it's Monday, we're going to do this. So now we kind of have a clearer picture once we get all the information. So we'll be able to lock it in, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what's going on. But let's see. So the Rams got a couple of people injured. Hunter Long, their tight end, doubtful with an injury to come back. And then Blake Corum, their backup running back, he injured his forearm. He ain't coming back. So something else to consider as well, if that is the opponent, if they find a way to win this game. Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double M, my guy, Martin Matthews writes, hey, Louie, I got to hear you say, we going to the offs. We going to the offs. We going to the offs. Yeah, buddy. When? Thank you for this. Thank you for becoming a member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show Wind some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad. Wind. Glad to have you on board. J Mart, been a member for 38 months. Salute to you, my friend, who writes, LT, Notre Dame and Washington in the offs. I'm on cloud 9. And both of them got a legitimate shot at doing some damage. Both of them got a legitimate shot at doing some damage. David, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. David writes, what happened to Quan? Need him in his secondary. He had an illness. So similar to Tyler Biadasz against the, I want to say it was against the Saints. He, fell ill and wasn't able to go. Same thing here, right? He got ill before the game, wasn't able to go, was a late scratch. So Defoe had to fill in. And Quan is a stabilizing force back there. So definitely missed him today for sure. Barrett Downing, been a member for 40 months. Excuse me. Salute, my guy BD writes, ugly win. But I'll take it, Lou. Look, we don't apologize for the nature of the victory. Okay? Nobody ever said it had to be pretty. All we ever said is it needed to be gritty and a dub. Put it in that left-hand column, let them stack up like bricks, and we'll talk about the nature of it another time. Just put it over there in the left-hand column. Frank McLaughlin, my guy. Frankie, baby. Aloha. Double up. My guy. Frank writes, congrats to Terry on the record. Nobody more deserving. Facts. Shout out to my hometown boy, Marcus, man. He put on a show today. Super proud of this team. What a wild season indeed. And again, it ain't over. We got time to recollect and reflect after it's come to its conclusion. We go into the offs. We got bonus football. CGM 87. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CGM 87 writes, Lou, never would have thought a dozen wins. Avoid filthy till NFC champ game. Yeah, since we'd go to Minnesota, Detroit with worst case if 5 seed gets a playoff experience. If number 5, gets a playoff experience. But we can make a run if we get by the first game, DQ Coach of the Year. Well, that's a regular season award. He's not going to win it because you can't give it to him over what the job that your boy did in Minnesota, has done in Minnesota. That's the Coach of the Year, like hands down. I don't think it's a discussion. Should DQ be in that conversation, just like Jaden should be in the MVP conversation? Yes, he should be. DQ should be in that discussion, but that award is already spoken for, and it's going to the Vikings head coach. He's been outstanding this year, and you're doing it with Sam Darnold. And, we got to put some respect on Sam Darnold's name. I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I said, and you know, I'll leave that conversation for tonight. They play tonight. We'll have that conversation tonight. I don't need to have that with you guys right now. But yes, we get the best of all worlds. You get in the playoffs, you got a chance to make some noise, but it's Five getting his feet wet. It's Five getting a taste of this playoff thing, right? A lot of these really, a lot of the guys in that elite group that we talk about, one of them ones, Burrow and Allen and Mahomes and Jackson and Herbert, most of those dudes didn't taste the playoffs in their rookie season. You know, Mahomes didn't play in his rookie season. He played the final game of the regular season. He didn't play in the playoffs his rookie season. Herbert didn't play in the playoffs his rookie season. I don't think Jackson played in the playoffs his rookie season, but he lost to the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. But he came in late that season and took over, did Lamar. So he did taste the postseason. Burrow didn't taste the playoffs his first season. He got hurt. Matter of fact, we hurt Burrow in his rookie season. And Allen, if I'm not mistaken, was not in the playoffs his first year. I think it was his second year that Buffalo made the postseason, if I'm not mistaken. So he's doing things that a lot of these dudes didn't do their first year, right? I love it. CGM 87. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Mayo fired. Wow, Kraft gonna get Vrabel. I think that move was made so they could be aggressive in pursuing Mike Vrabel. I tweeted out, I retweeted the Adam Schefter segment from this morning because I found it fascinating. I knew a lot of you guys are big NFL fans like myself, so you might have found it fascinating as well. So I retweeted it out, and he talked about Mayo and Kraft really not seeing eye to eye here recently. Like in the last 30 days, their relationship has kind of deteriorated. It was crazy because so much was made about Gerard Mayo being the understudy to Belichick, and they handpicked him, and for years he could have left. Other teams wanted him, and they kept upping his salary so that he wouldn't leave, and then one and done. That's crazy, but I mean, he's still getting paid, right? But that's wild. But I think this is all in the pursuit of Mike Vrabel. I really do feel that way. Navy Ramjet, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Blessings to you and yours. How's the little one doing, man? He says, blessings, Lou. Mariota, OZ, Noah Brown, Iggy, and the rest, mostly incredible pickups with impact. Great coaching in AP. My baby Viv is 4-0. What a blessing it is. She might be the good luck charm, Navy Ramjet. Might be. We ain't lost since she came into the world. I talked about this week, I believe, about the impact of all the free agents and how we really didn't miss on many of them outside of Michael Davis. You really could argue that we really haven't missed on many of the free agents, and not just didn't miss, they've been super impactful. And here's Marcus Mariota, once again, showing his worth as if he already hasn't been worth however many millions they paid him this year, just in the tutelage, just in, hey, stand up, get your win. Use your God-given ability, not go win us the game. If not just off of the strength of how he's, helped manage Jaden and, tutor them and show them the ropes, mentor them. But when his number has been called this year, he's been fantastic. And to think, and I'm guilty. I told you I'm gonna be the first to tell you when I was right, and I'll be the first to tell you when I was wrong. I was out here rooting for Jeff Driscoll to be the number 2. Guilty as charged. I was leading the charge. I was like, yo, Mariota ain't better than Jeff Driscoll. He's shown better in the preseason. And AP and them said, shut up. We know what we're doing. Pipe down. This is why I don't question them when it comes to personnel. When people are like, why won't they put Luke in again? Hey, they there every day. I can question play calls and decisions that are made. I don't question personnel decisions. It's a reason that they don't start Luke. I don't know what it is, but I'm trusting them. All right? I'm trusting them. Craven Moorhead. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Craven writes, Pats fired Gerard Mayo after losing the #1 pick. I don't think that's why they fired him. Schefter had already said that they were going to fire him. Like he was on the hot seat, and they were, had they lost, he would have got fired regardless. Because if they would have had the #1 pick, that would have made their job that much more intriguing. Similar to our situation, right? Part of the intrigue of our job last year was having the #2 pick. You were gonna be able to handpick your quarterback. You had the second most cap space in the NFL. So not only did you have all that cap space, you also were going to be able to handpick your quarterback. That was the allure of the pick. You already got your quarterback if you're the Patriots. I don't know where this loss or that win rather puts them in the draft order, but you already got your quarterback. All they were going to do was trade that pick away. I mean, it was valuable capital. And I always say when you decide to fire a coach at the end like that, the biggest FU that coach can do is win a game at the end, a meaningless game, like Lovie Smith did to the Texans that year when they had the #1 pick, and he won that last game. But it actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise because they ended up with C.J. Stroud. But they probably would have still drafted him if they liked him. Maybe they would have taken Bryce Young. Bryce Young, balling, by the way. Like I said, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Bryce Young was my #1 quarterback that year. I haven't quit on him, even though C.J. Stroud looks like the better of the two. Bryce Young can play football, and I've never moved off that spot. Never moved off that spot. Martin Matthews, my guy, Double M. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, hey, Louie, I'm not sure if you or my Commanders bros and sis want to try this, but try watching the game with the sound all the way down and the radio broadcast with the game up. It just might change your life. So Bram is a little too much for me. Bram be screaming at the top of his lungs, touchdown, Commanders! He did it again! I don't know how much of that I can take, man. Like, Bram be doing too much. So, and I know he don't do that every single snap, I would imagine, but I'm good. I'm going to pass on that. I take my little Bram in 10 to 15 second increments. I'm good with that. And I don't know if I'd be able to sync it up or not either, because, with this streaming stuff, it was a lot easier to probably do it when it was cable. With streaming, it's a little bit tougher because, the thing is a little off, but I'm pretty sure you could do it. But I'm good. I'm a pass. But, to each its own, right? To each its own. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, my guy, J Mart. Seahawks are driving 1st and goal from the Rams 2-yard line. They get stuffed, actually lose a yard. You lose a yard. So it's going to be 2nd and goal from about the 3. We got to get a yellow helmet with a red W on it. That would be dope as an alternate helmet. Like not yellow, but a gold helmet with the burgundy dub on it. And it would be interesting, like what the combination would be. You probably got to wear the burgundy tops with the yellow with the gold pants for that to look crispy. Rams in the end zone, or excuse me, Seahawks in the end zone. Now, pending the extra point, they'll be up 8. See if they go for 2 to try to extend this out to 9 and put pressure on the Rams. But once again, Geno throws a touchdown pass to the tight end. I think it looks like Barner. I'm not sure if that's who it is or not. A.J. Barner. Yep, A.J. Barner. And they're going to kick the extra point. So if this extra point goes through, they'll be up 8 with 3 minutes to go left in the 3rd quarter. So 18 minutes left in that game. They're up 8, 24-16 are the Seahawks. Timothy Swindell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Timothy, Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, from 4-12 to 12-5. I like our chances against Tampa. Also, I don't know if you saw the Patriots fire Mayo. I brought that up already. This team just rallies together to win games. If we clean up stuff, I'm feeling bold. I'm not going that far, but I'm all but guaranteed one win in the playoffs. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And the last time we won a playoff game was in 2005. Do you know who it was against? Do you know where it was at? You can't make this stuff up, man. Like, so many coincidences this year. So many records have been broken this year. We got to break the playoff streak, right? What more fitting place to break it than the place that we last won a playoff game? Against the team we last won a playoff game against the team that we last played a playoff game against that beat us in 2020. Anyway, I digress. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. J Mart writes, great season. Regardless of what happens, we are ahead of schedule. Looking forward to the watch party. Bart Scott, can't wait. HTTC, I'm looking forward to the watch party as well. For those of you who haven't already done so, mods, if you're out there, put the link in the comment section of this video. I don't think I put it in the description, but I'm going to go get it right now. I'm going to go get that link right now, and I'll drop it in there myself too. But if you're a mod, if you would, you can drop it in there as well. But I'm going to drop it in the description of this video, and I'm going to drop it in the comment section of the video as well. So now it's in the description. So if you want to go in there, you want to click that link, and you want to go ahead and make that happen, you can. And I'm going to also drop it in here as well. So yeah, we about to be in there. We about to be in there. So looking forward to all of it. Bart Scott, can't wait. K Futuristic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. K Futuristic writes, hey Lou, when looking at this defense, what would be the first move you'd make to improve? Edge rusher. We got to get pressure on the quarterback. Got to get pressure on the quarterback. I don't know if you look to a Trey Hendrickson in free agency. I'll look for you to try to explore maybe trading for a Myles Garrett if he becomes available. I don't know what you look to do. Last offseason, there were some really good edge rushers available, i.e. Danielle Hunter, who's been stellar this year for the Texans, and others like him were available. I remember I was a Jonathan Grenard guy. He's got double-digit sacks for the Vikings, right? So there were plenty of guys available last year that were needle movers. And I don't know what the market looks like because I haven't been really obsessed with that because we're a good football team. So we got bigger fish to fry right now. But obviously when the season's over, then I'll start looking at pending free agents at certain positions, et cetera, et cetera. You're looking at draft, all of that stuff. But in order to enhance this defense, you either need to add an elite corner or an elite edge rusher. You have one already on the roster. So him just being healthy, you would be adding that in Marshawn Lattimore. But I want to add somebody opposite of him. And if we can get Frozone inside where he really truly belongs, great, right? But edge rusher is the biggest thing you can improve. If we can get consistent pressure, if we can get a guy that can wreak havoc by himself, it changes everything defensively for us. We don't have that guy currently right now. So that's the first thing I would do. I mean, El Rico, thank you for the super chat. Whew. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. El Rico writes, I brought home the dub, Lou, so you were in attendance. My guy, how sweet it is. Really proud of you for going into enemy territory and getting the job done and coming out of there with the assignment in hand, right? He says JD5 and Chef AP had a long convo while BSJ tried to single-handedly give the game away. It was worse to see him do that ish in live. I almost spilled my yak. Hashtag damn, it feels good to be a Seas fan. I think that's the first call. I didn't even show the replay for us to even be able to identify if it was the right call or not. But I can tell you that the second one was BS. The one that put them at the 1 yard line, which essentially set up their touchdown. That was on a third down, by the way. They would have had to settle for another field goal. That was a BS call. Straight BS. Leno Ryan Benvenite, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, 12 wins, offensive rookie of the year, 13 touchdowns for Terry, and beating Dallas in Dallas, led by the Hawaiian. Hell yeah. Celebrate. Come on, LA, win, and we coming in hot. They're not going to win. But they're not going down without a fight. I can tell you that much. Jimmy got, end of the third quarter, Jimmy got those boys on the move. Down 8. They in Seattle territory, driving for points. Worst case scenario, if they don't turn it over, they should come away with at least a field goal. So they're not going away without a fight. But I just don't think they got enough defensively to stop Geno and company from scoring once or two more times in this game. So it's going to be Tampa. And I'm okay with that. I'm more than okay with that. C-Trail, been a member for 13 months. Who writes, we got to bust out the all whites in the first off game. They probably going to wear the burgundy bottoms, is my guess. They probably going to bust out the burgundy bottoms. The same fit we had on tonight. That's been their road fit most of the year. If you want to be clean, then the all whites would be the way to go. But we don't get to control that. We got to see what, the team that we're playing against wants to wear. And then, based off of what they wear, then we can wear. Like, you can wear white bottoms. Like, say Tampa decides to go with their pewter tops or their, let's say that they decide to go with their, like, orangey top and their pewter bottoms. Then, yes, the door is open for you to wear all white. But if they go with their orange tops and their white bottoms like they had on today, you could still theoretically wear white on white. It don't matter, but usually you try to stay away from that. If they're wearing white bottoms, then we'll wear burgundy, right? So forth and so forth. So I agree. Like, we on the road. We know we're going to be on the road. We know more likely than not we're going to be busting out the white tops. Just throw on the white bottoms and call it a day and go all crispy whites. I'm with it. If you with it, I'm with it. John Perez, my guy. JP, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JP writes, double up, thank you for doubling up, writes, not Washington related, but the Pats just fired Gerard Mayo. We talked about that already. I actually said it when it happened. Wonder if they could get Vrabel. I think that's what the impetus for them firing him so quickly after the season was over was for, right? Vrabel's already interviewed with, I think, the Jets already. And so the Patriots understand the urgency that's necessary if they want him. He's the hottest commodity available outside of Ben Johnson, right? Plus, could Myles Garrett ask out of Cleveland if there's no clear plan or direction there? He could, but just because he asks out doesn't mean he's going to get his wish, right? So there's that. C-Trail, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. C-Trail, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, my guy Lou, C-Trail, hope all is well, my man. We are 12-5, and with that being said, a wise man once said after week 3, F with me, though. F with me, though. F with me, though. That's when we found out we had a star. That's when a star was born. That week 3, Monday night against Cincinnati. That's when I knew. Uh-oh. So you're telling me there's a chance. We got one of them ones. That game changed everything. 15 weeks later, 12-5. Would you look at that? Man, it feels good. Feels good. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Twin D writes, hey, LT, I'm out of the country, and the resort I'm on only has one TV. Can you believe a couple of Bears fans tried to bogart the TV for me to watch their game? Commander Bully had none of it. Hey, way to hold us down out of the country, man. Yeah, right. Your Bears are 4-12, or were 4-12. Back. Have some respect for 11-5, now 12-5 team. How dare you? Tell them to get the hell out of there with that bullshit. You know who you talking to? Y'all better not drop me. We go into the offs. Love it. Way to hold us down across water. Way to hold us down, Twin D. Daniel Moore, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Daniel Moore writes, what a season. It's a little worrying that JD5 has hit the rookie wall at the wrong time. He did? That's news to me. That's a memo. Okay. Might want to put Marcus in for game 1. Okay. You got me. Just messing. I love trolling. Okay. I was like, he hit the rookie wall? That's news to me. After 227 passing, 2 touchdowns, and another 127 on the ground last week. You would have got me. He says, I love my Commanders more. HTTC, love the mob. We really appreciate you, Daniel, man. This is going to be fun. We go into the offs. Wilfredo Elias, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, off topic, do you think Tennessee and or Cleveland pass on a quarterback? No, I don't. Neither one of them. Both of them are taking quarterbacks. The worst thing that could happen to the Giants or any other team that wanted a quarterback was New England winning, because that was your ticket to getting a quarterback. The Titans are definitely taking a quarterback, and so are the Cleveland Browns. That was your ticket. DTR stinks, right? Jameis Winston, done in Cleveland, all right? Is Deshaun Watson a rookie, and maybe you bring Jameis back for moral support. Maybe you hold on to Bailey Zappi, but they're drafting a quarterback. Their quarterback situation, they can't afford any more money being poured into the position because they're still hemorrhaging money from the Deshaun Watson situation. So they're taking a quarterback. You best believe it. So anybody that want, like, you're screwed. Shedeur Sanders is a Titan, or Ward is a Titan and Shedeur Sanders is a Brown, or vice versa. So, yeah. The worst thing that could happen for a team that wanted a quarterback was New England winning, because you could have traded up and jumped in front of those two teams. Now you can't. Going Commando. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Going Commando. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, I keep refreshing Google, but it still says 12-5. This can't be real. Give Mariota a 45-year extension. Perfect backup for JD and this system. I agree. I don't feel like we need to go anywhere else. I would bring the quarterback room back exactly the way it is. Jeff Driscoll. Like, obviously, you can't keep 4 quarterbacks again. And, Sam Hartman, guys are going to want to play. They're going to want an opportunity somewhere else. If Driscoll isn't here next year, I think now that you're comfortable with JD, and Hartman should be comfortable playing now, I think you can move on from Driscoll and keep Hartman and move him to the 3rd quarterback. But if you got Mariota and you have JD5, you're probably going to only have 2 quarterbacks active every week, and then have, the third quarterback be your emergency guy. So, which just Driscoll has been all season. I think that guy will be Sam Hartman next year. But if Mariota moves on, greener pastures, a better opportunity, whatever the case may be, you still got Jeff Driscoll that can step in. But I find it hard to believe he'll play better than Mariota has this season. I mean, if I'm Marcus Mariota, I think I found a home here in Washington, because you're not going anywhere else and starting, right? You're going to be the mentor backup. I mean, this is a perfect place to kind of park your career, settle down. I think he just had another kid. They just had another kid. So I think that's now 2 little ones in the last 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken. So, or 3 years. I think that's 2 in the last 3 years, because he had one when he was in Atlanta. He had the little baby girl, his first. And then I think that's why he was out here recently, because they had another one, if I'm not mistaken. So, maybe you sign a 2-3 year deal to stay here as the backup. Normally, backups don't sign for that long, right? So we'll see. He is perfect for this system, though. I agree. Ed B, been a member for 40 months. Salute. Who writes, let's continue this run. I want a lot more football. Don't we all? 1 week at a time. But let's just enjoy this. We'll enjoy this, right? We'll enjoy the season, the regular season that was. And then on Wednesday, we turn our full divided attention to the playoffs. And whether that's a Saturday game or a Sunday game, we're going to really turn up. But just bask in 12-5 for a little while. Just let that shit soak in, right? Just let that 12-5 kind of just enter all of your pores, right? Will Morales, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Will Morales writes, Louie T, winning is contagious. Hashtag HTTRC. It is. Winning is definitely contagious. I talk about winning and how that begets confidence, and how confidence begets winning. And it's a vicious, flavor delicious cycle. And, the more you win, the more you gain confidence. The more you gain confidence, the more you win. And that's why winning this game was so important. Even though we didn't have all of our starters out there, it doesn't matter. That's 5 straight wins, to finish the season. We got momentum. Nobody else is riding a 5-game win streak in the NFC right now. Minnesota and Detroit, I think, are. Detroit's not, excuse me. They lost to Buffalo about 3 weeks ago. Minnesota is. They probably won 6 or 7 straight here. But if they lose tonight, I think we might have the longest win streak in the NFC right now, right? Philadelphia clearly doesn't. Then Minnesota won't. Detroit just lost to Buffalo about 3 weeks ago or so, right? A month ago, whatever it was. So nobody else can lay claim to, hey, we finished the season up winners of 5 straight. Green Bay just lost again. They had lost to Detroit probably 3 weeks ago or so. No, they lost to Minnesota last week. Did Green Bay. So again, nobody's hotter than us. So I just like where we sit. I like where we are. The Rams have been hot, though. I'm trying to think of the last time they lost a game. It's been a while. They've been pretty hot here of late. They might be hotter than us. They might have won like 6 straight. I don't know what their record was, but they was down pretty bad. I don't know when they've lost last, but I expect them to lose this game, though, today. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, winning is definitely contagious. Levy Wells, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Levy writes, Louie, what I don't even know what you're trying to say, Levy, but I'm gonna just say this. Hail to the damn Skins is right. We in the building. We 12-5. We in the building. We going to the offs. We going to the offs. We going to the offs. And like I said, we going in there to do damage. We ain't just going there to show up and be happy that we made it. We going in there to cause problems, to start a ruckus, right? That's what we going to do. I hate New York Giants. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, congrats, Louie. My team is ass and I have no hope. Beat the Eagles for me. JD is awesome and I am jealous. I have no hope. Sell the team, Mara. If we see the Eagles, it's on site. Don't worry. But we're a long ways away from that. But if I see them, it's on site. Don't you worry. I got you. I got you. Dr. B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Dr. B writes, what a fun ride, Lou. Great year. Fun just starting. What'd I tell you, man? Enjoy this. It's not going to feel like this next year unless we exceed the expectations set or we meet them next year. But this year, there were not expectations really set. Next year, there will be. And if we don't meet those expectations, we're going to be disappointed. So it will never feel like this again unless we ultimately kill it. We won't have this euphoria again. So enjoy this. You know, enjoy this. Because from here on out, the expectation is win the division, NFC Championship game, and eventually it will become Super Bowl or bust. Right? We'll get to the point where ain't nothing else will do. So enjoy this. This is the most fun you're going to have without expectation, because expectations are coming. They're coming. But we embrace that. We've been looking for this for a very, very long time. Going Commando. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, even if Lat is 75%, get him out there next week. A 75% Lat is better than 100% BSJ Davis. Need Bada. Excuse me. If Coleman is out, I still trust Luke. Again, assuming he's healthy, right? Now, the way DQ made it sound like Luke and company, they were close, but they weren't ready, right? I agree with Lat, except you're dealing with a hamstring. So if you put him out there at 75%, the chance that he re-aggravates it is like 90%. So, you know, with hammies, it's a really tricky deal. But, you know, the thing that gives me just a little bit of confidence is the fact that we were able to get Diami back. And I get it. Everybody's hamstring isn't the same, but we got Diami back in you know, a really short period of time. And I'm hoping that the strain of the hamstring for Lattimore wasn't as significant as it was the first time. And he just needed a couple more weeks to get it back on track. But we'll see, right? We'll see. But to your point, I don't think they're going to put him out there if he's not healthy enough. Like, you're just going to try to find a way to win without him. And then if you win that next game, no matter what the situation is, you get to the divisional round, he got to play, right? That's what I feel. Because if you throw him out there in wild card and he re-aggravates it, he's done. Right? He's done. And if you win, then you don't have him. So you rather say the opponents only get tougher after this. So if there's going to be an opponent that you can beat without him, it's going to be this first one. After that, you're going to need him. Whether it's Detroit, whether it's Minnesota, I mean, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, whether it's Justin Jefferson and what's your boy from USC, or, you know what I'm saying, it's the Eagles, whomever. And we can't see the Eagles to the championship game. But whoever it is, you're going to need him. So I would say this would be the week that you'd say, nah, he can't go. And then you give yourself a chance, right? Let's see. All right. Ethan Dykes, my guy. All right. Rams have the football. Down 3 in the red zone. 2nd and 8. As long as he doesn't turn it over, they should be able to take the lead here. So we'll see. Lou, it's so wild. Double up. W up, E. Lou, it's so wild to think that this is literally the best season young fans have ever seen Washington have since 91. So happy for 17, a historic year. And to think there have been so many, emotions up and down. I remember you lost your mind one of those weeks where I had to talk some sense into you, right? And we've had those, ups and downs, right? It's been a crazy ride this season. But at the end of the day, this has been the most fun I've had as a fan since I was a kid. I haven't had this much fun as a fan since 99. And 2012 was a lot of fun. It really was. But that pales in comparison. All of those years pale in comparison to this year. Because knowing what I know now, I didn't know those things then. But knowing what I know now and knowing that I know what one of them ones looks like, I didn't know when Robert Griffin III. I didn't know what one of them ones looked like. I just knew he was really playing well, but I knew there were limitations to his game. But there are no limitations to Jaden's game. There is no ceiling. It's different. It's different. And we got a hell of a staff. And we're just getting started. We got a real GM. We got a real organization. There's no Daniel Snyder to hold us down and keep us from reaching our apex. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. Look at us. Look at us. Leno Ryan Benvenite. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, not supposed to be here, Lou. But since we are, why not us? I've been saying that since what, week 3 when we beat Cincinnati? Why not us? Come F with us. Why not us? I'm greedy and I want more. I think we all are. None of us are satisfied. Any team, anytime, anywhere, anytime, right? Anybody, anywhere, anytime. Let's see what happens. I got 5 on it. That's right. And Rams have taken the lead. For those of you who aren't watching that game in particular, they've taken the lead 25-24 on a field goal. I still think they're going to lose this game, but they've made it a lot more interesting than I thought they were going to do, with the Seahawks still playing all of their starters. CGM 87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CGM 87 writes, got to shore up the D-line after Dowdle ran all over us. He really didn't run all over us. As I mentioned, 22 carries, 82 yards, I believe. I think it was 22 for 72, because 22 for 82 would have been close to 4 a pop, and he didn't have 4 a pop. He had 3.3, so it was 22 for 72. He really didn't eat us up. It was really the little small running back from K-State and Trey Lance combined were the ones that really did the damage to us. Going Commando. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Going Commando. Double up. Right. So poetic that 17 got the record on a game-winning TD last game. I said to my wife before the play, just throw it up for grabs to Terry. Right when it was up, you knew he was going to haul it in. I didn't know what they were going to do. I thought they were going to throw a slant personally. I didn't know that, it was kind of like the same play we threw against the Giants right before the half, where you just kind of throw like a back shoulder fade, but that one was up in the air. It was a perfect ball from Mariota. Great route by Terry. He beat him off the line of scrimmage. And, he had Bland in trail position the entire time. He could never locate the football. And Terry just went up and got it, snatched it, got his feet down, similar to what he did against Baltimore, where he took the ball, snatched it out of the air, got it away from the defender, got his feet down. He was massive on that drive and obviously got the game winner, man. So excited for him. Really, truly am. Couldn't happen to a better player on this team. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Right. Iggy really struggled today. We got to spend either hella cash on a day 1 or 2 pick on corner. Also got to spend some money and bring lots of guys back, 18 included. And look, Iggy is who he is. Like, again, know who you're dealing with. He's been good this season. right? But by no means is he a dog. Like, no, by no means is he a, guy that you need to be counting on moving forward. But I love him as depth. You could do a hell of, like, I want him back. You could do a hell of a lot worse than him, right? So, I don't want him starting. But if you tell me Noah Igbenogany is the first corner off the bench, sign me up. Sign me up. You tell me he's the first nickel off the bench, and in a pinch, you got to put him outside. He can do both. And he's a good special teams player. Like, I want him back. I value what he brings to the table. But by no means do I want him starting. On a good roster, he's not a starter. But we don't have a good roster right now. And he's given us everything we could have hoped for and then some. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, possible to stream the watch party for those of us who can't attend. That is the hope. That is the intent, is to try and stream it for those who can't be in attendance. And we'll see, the logistics of it. We'll see if we can get it set up in a manner that'll allow us to do the things that we want to do. But I can't say for certain that that's what will happen, but that's the goal. That's what we're trying to aim for, is to try and stream it for those who can't be in attendance. Because I want this to be something where we all celebrating it, right? Together, right? So that's the goal. But I can't guarantee that right now, which is why I got to try to be in attendance. But the goal is to try to stream it live. Absolutely. Wilfredo Elias, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Wilfredo writes, Lattimore versus Evans in the offs, always a dogfight. Oh, man. My guy, Kevin, the PRF, had a great tweet the other day where he said Lattimore, he put out the Undertaker tweet. And he sent the Undertaker tweet. If Lattimore, if we play the Bucks in the playoffs, Lattimore sees Mike Evans and he raised up from the dead, right? He sat up. So yeah, that's, look, we already know the history of those two runs deep from their NFC South wars that they've had. And there's a distinct disdain that each has for the other. That'll be fun if that is the matchup. Hopefully we get him healthy though, right? Evans is healthy. He's rearing to go. Lattimore, not so much. So we got to try to get him up to speed and get him ready. But that would be a fun matchup for sure. Marquel Manuel, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, what time do you think we play next week? I've already laid all of that out. If you want my prediction for that, you got to watch the Friday episode of CNN, episode 18.5. It should be 18, or is it 19.5? It should be 18.5. Let me check and see. It's episode 18.5. I went through all of that. I gave you when I think we're going to play, what time I think we're going to play, who the opponent will be. I laid all of that out for you. So go check that episode out. It's at the very beginning too, so you don't have to wait very long. You can just go check out the beginning of that video. I lay out all of the scenarios, what I think is going to happen, and what I think who the opponent is going to be, when we'll play, etc., etc. CGM 87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CGM 87 writes, can we bring back skins unis with these helmets? No, they're not going to do that. If they were going to do that, they would have already made a push to try and do that. I don't really care to have this discussion, but I will say that there was nothing wrong with the uniform. Like, even when we went to the football team, they kept basically the same uniform and just put Washington in the front. They could have just kept that. But, when you're doing a rebrand and, they wanted, Snyder only was thinking about money. And, so if we're going to do a rebrand, we're going to change the name. We got to change all. Like, I think most people would have been cool with them keeping everything the same and just changing the name. And they would have been fine with that. But it is what it is. Like, I ain't tripping about it. I know there's still fans out there that are, but I'm not. Jim Sleazy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jim Sleazy writes, SBJ gets interceptions while the rest of our DBs get burnt like toast. They've just been getting lucky with inaccurate quarterbacks. Luck won't work in the playoffs. I don't necessarily disagree with that assessment. You're not going to be lucky with guys missing open receivers. Trey Lance should have hit on that 4th down. He should have hit that receiver for the touchdown. Well, if that's Baker Mayfield, that's a touchdown, bro. That's Matthew Stafford, that's a touchdown. I don't think Matthew Stafford's escaping that sack, but that's not the point. Baker Mayfield is. Baker Mayfield is. And that's a touchdown. There were some throws that Michael Penix Jr. missed last week. Bijan Robinson touchdown up the sideline. A couple of corner routes to Drake London that would have been big gains. Matthew Stafford's not missing that throw. Neither is Baker Mayfield. So again, you're not wrong. But this is who we have. I've said this a million times. Like, you can't change the roster now. We have who we have. We are who we are. And we got to go to war with what we got. And we just let the chips fall where they may. Now, if we having the same conversation next year because we didn't do enough in the offseason, then that's a real conversation. But we in year 1 of a recalibration. We got what we got, and look how far we've gotten with what we got. Some of it is luck. Some of it is good fortune. Some of it is good play. Whatever it is, we'll take all of it. We'll take all of it. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. GT7, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Louie, this ride continues to be unbelievable, but believable. 12-5. Say it again. 12-5. Delicioso. The team chemistry is legit. Just glad we don't have to see Parsons and Zimmer's defense in the playoffs. Bless up, brother. I'm just glad we won't have to see Michael Parsons again. He's a problem. He's a tyrant. And we don't know how to deal with him. But it's good to finally see us double and triple team him. Shit. Should have been doing that from the jump. Anyway, did you see JD5 exuberant and the jubilation he had for Marcus and Terry when they made that play? When Marcus made the big run to set us up, did you see that? Then, he hits Ertz. We get down, we spike it, and, JD was locked in. Remember how excited he was for that receiver, Martavis Bryant? Remember how excited the sideline was for Martavis Bryant when he caught that touchdown in that final preseason game? Remember how the sideline went off? I liken the Marcus Mariota touchdown to Terry, the same type of reaction. Like, JD, I haven't seen him smile that big probably since that preseason game, right? Like, he was super excited for Marcus and Terry and everybody. Like you said, the chemistry on this team is unbelievable, and it's real. It's not fabricated. The brotherhood is real. I've talked about that. I've even entitled shows, The Brotherhood is Real, because it is. And that matters. I know people try to downplay that. That shit matters. That the dudes genuinely care about one another and would lay it out on the line for the guy next to him. That shit matters. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, I also think they did BSJ wrong on that last PI call. Dirty work. He actually had good technique. He did. He was so upset when he went to the sideline. He's like, what else can I do, man? I felt bad for him on that one. Like, because he went to the sideline saying, like, bro, I ain't even do nothing this time, right? It's like, having a kid at school that's notorious for getting in trouble. And so, something goes wrong and they blame him. And, in the past, they would have been right. It was him. But this time it wasn't him. And he's been trying to straighten up his act. And they blamed him for it anyway. And he's like, man, what am I supposed to do, man? I can't win, right? I can't win. I straighten up my act. I do the right thing, and they still hit me with penalties. Joe Rockhead, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Joe Rockhead, thank you for being a member of the mob rights. Does the Fun Bunch high five with the mob? We did it, Lou. like a old NBC, freeze frame sitcom. Dun, 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 dun. When they freeze it, he says, "We did it, Lou. My brother." He said, "My brother. I sure would like to win before that final drive, but I digress. Great season. We all would, right?" I was, I don't know what I was thinking, but I said defense. We've taken the lead 16-12. I'd really like you to get a stop here and let Marcus go to work and try and win this game going away. And the defense was like, "You hear this guy? Win the game going away. Has he watched all the games this season?" I said, "Okay, you're right. I know what it is. I get it. I get it. It is what it is." GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. GT7 writes, "Can we wear the black unis through the playoffs? If you've been wearing the black unis during this 5-game win streak, keep wearing them. If you haven't, don't change whatever you've been doing. I'm not wearing black at all. You already know what that symbolizes for me, okay? But you can do whatever you like. Yeah, I'm not going to stop you, but you already know what it is." Mark Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the Double M. Mark Matthews writes, "Hey, Louie, tell the naysayers that Terry caught it with his hands. Broke a long-lived record and won the game. Put some respect on that man's name. One more time, Louie. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs." Yeah, and I said that at the top of the show. Put some respect on that man's name. So many people be trying to downplay Terry like he ain't him. Like he ain't him. No, he ain't Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. But he's a damn good number one receiver in this league. And I'm going to leave it at that. Lorenzo Simpson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Zoe, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Right. On that kickoff after the flag on 94, wasn't the kickoff moved up? If it was, why wasn't the ball placed to the 40? It was, which is why they gave it to us at the 25. That's why he kicked it out of bounds on purpose. A lot of people were freaking out. Oh, yeah. I thought it was at the 40. I'm like, why would he do that? He did it on purpose. So think about it from this perspective. You know how hard it is to kick it in the field of play when you're kicking the ball off from the, damn near midfield? That kick would have been coming from either the 45 or midfield, right? He can't kick that ball in the air and keep it in the field of play. So if we were to down that thing in the end zone as a touchback, it would have come out to the 30. With the 15-yard penalty, it only comes out with the 50-yard penalty, kicking it out of bounds, it only comes out to the 25. They exposed a rule that I didn't even know about. Like, I'm always amazed and fascinated when I learn something that I didn't know. I didn't know that that's how that rule worked. If that's the case, I'm going to just kick it out of bounds too. Now you started at 25 like the old touchback rule. That was a smart play by them. Really smart by them. T-Roy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. T-Roy writes, "How about that dot from Diami to OZ? Should have made that catch 12-5 ATTC. That was a hell of a throw. He left-handed too. I didn't know Diami was left-handed. Now I know. He's left-handed. And that was a dot. That shit was perfectly thrown. First time we broke that bad boy out all season, and the person that was supposed to throw it the second time actually threw it. And that thing was on the money. Should have been caught. But it wasn't. Red House, not Roadhouse. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling it up. Who writes? Ron Rivera, it only takes 5 years. He was right about that. He was right about that. Took us 5 years, but here we are. Here we are. All right. Before we get out of here, I want to give a quick shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this stream. Head over to betus.com. use the promo code YouTube150 to get you 150% sign-up bonus off your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% sign-up bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me. 12-5. We're going to celebrate this thing all week long until we got to start focusing in. Rams are on the move. They're down 5, 30-25. They're driving in Seahawks territory. I'll probably stay with you guys here because this will determine who we're playing. So I'm going to hang out with y'all until this game's done. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. GT7 writes, I meant, can the team wear black unis? No, they can't because they don't control what they wear. They're on the road. You only can control what you wear when you're at home. So, I mean, theoretically speaking, yes, they could wear black uniforms if the team they're playing against decides to wear their white unis, right? But generally, when you're at home, you wear your solid color uniforms. So early in the season, you'll see a lot of home teams wear their white uniforms because the sun soaks up darker colors. So instead of wearing your dark colors outside, you know, you let the other team wear their dark colors and make them to have to deal with the sun beating them up. But generally speaking, as you get later into the season, teams go with the traditional route of wearing their solid colors at home. And that's going to happen in the playoffs. Rams aren't going to wear white uniforms at home or their bone color uniforms at home. They're going to wear their blue ones more likely than not. Same with Tampa Bay. They're not going to wear white at home. They can, and they have done that, you know, but they're more likely than not going to wear their reds or some other uniform that won't allow us to wear black, essentially. But yes, you can wear black. We've actually worn our black uniforms on the road. If you recall, the very first time we wore them, it was at Dallas. So you can't wear it because Dallas wore their white uniforms. You know, Dallas usually wears their white uniforms at home. So end zone, incomplete. Not end zone. Good breakup. Minute and 6 seconds left. Rams driving inside the Seahawks 20-yard line. Jets are up 12. Raiders are getting smashed. See what the score is in this. See what the score is in this. Okay, Cardinals are up 9 against the 49ers. Noah Fant took a spill there, but he caught it. That's one thing I'm going to tell y'all right now we're going to have to defend, right? One thing we're going to have to defend. Hey, the clock's still running. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be running because it was inbounds. One thing we're going to have to defend against the Rams, which we're not always great at, is those screens. The Rams probably throw more screens than any other team in the league. Oh, that ball was out. I think that game's over, guys. They called that a catch. That ball was out. That ball was out. And by the Rams calling a timeout, they're giving them a chance to look at it. I don't know why. Am I missing something? Pick 6 for the Cardinals. That game's over with. Now they up 40-24. Am I missing something? Because that ball was definitely punched out. Oh, he got touched, though. That is a catch. That's an interception, but he definitely got touched. So he's down where he caught that. So that's not a pick 6. Guess they're not going to look at it. I thought that ball was out. Guess I was tripping. Jimmy threw behind the receiver again. If he would have thrown it in front of him, Tutu Atwell would have been able to get up the field. All right, 4th and 3. This is pretty much the ball game. Rams just called their second timeout, so they get this. They got time. It's still 21 seconds left. That's an incredible stat. Demarcus Robinson has never missed the playoffs in his career. Never. Never missed the playoffs in his career. Every year he's been in the league, he has made it to the playoffs. First 5 years in the league, he was with the Chiefs. They made it every year. He went to Baltimore for 2 years. They made it both years he was there. And then he's been with the Rams the last 2 years, this year and last year. They made it last year, obviously, and they made it again this year. This dude does not miss the playoffs. This is crazy. All right, still 4th and 3. Now Seahawks take a timeout. While they doing that, Red House, not Roadhouse. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Red House, not Roadhouse writes, 1, Cliff is who EB thought he was. 2, who do you call if 86 doesn't pick up, Lou? LOL. If 86 doesn't pick up, I'll probably get 14 on the horn or 80. Either one. Those guys are pretty effective as well. So if 86 doesn't pick up, I'm probably going to call either 80 or 14. And, last ditch, like when they say emergency contact, I'll put down 30. I'll put 30 down. Incomplete. Seahawks win. And we're going to Tampa, folks. We are going to play the Buccaneers. As fate would have it, it makes a lot of sense. Pack your bags. We're playing the Bucs. So there it is. We know the opponent. So I've already told you, if it's Tampa, that's going to be 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So get ready. Get your popcorn ready. We've been out there at 4 o'clock before. The first time we played them was a 4 o'clock game out in Tampa. And we're going to do it again. Saddle up. We know the opponent. Let's go to work. El Rico, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes, yeah, Lou, I live in Dallas and I keep my foot on their neck. BSJ gone after the Super Bowl. JD5 smiled at the chef. The second flag, he didn't look in time. Nah, if you would have seen it at home, he looked in plenty of time. It was a bad call, bro. You watch it at home, you'd be like, yeah, they jerked him. They jerked him big time. Well, good. Keep your foot on their neck, El Rico. Let them know what it is. And now you can actually talk that talk now. For a long time, you really had to stay silent. You don't got to do that no more. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Command Post Game Live Show. The Commanders get it done 23-19 over the Dallas Cowboys. Terry McLaurin, with 2 seconds left, catches his franchise record-setting 13th touchdown of the season to give the Commanders the win. Marcus Mariota was sparkling in the second half. He came in relief of Jaden Daniels and was spectacular, 15 of 18, 161 yards, also rushed it 5 times for 56 yards, including a big 4th down to set up the game winner and a touchdown run to boot. He was fantastic. It wasn't pretty, but it was gritty, and it was a dub. And most importantly, it got us to 12-5 and secured the 6th seed. Now we know we're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now the 3 seed. Let's go to work. I'm ready. Bart Scott. Can't wait. So we'll have more information as far as the watch party is concerned tomorrow, but we'll get all the information from the NFL. I'm just predicting, all right? We could be playing Tampa Bay Saturday night for all I know. That's still a reason. That's still a possibility. I've already told you the 3 slots we're going to play in. It's either going to be Saturday night at 8 o'clock, Sunday night at 8 o'clock, or Sunday afternoon at 4:30. It's one of those 3 and nothing else because we got Jaden Daniels. So until next time, you guys Have a good one. Rockman 1033, been a member for 29 months. He's going to take us home. Hashtag HTTC, hashtag raise hell. Y'all know what it is. Salute. Anybody, anytime, or anywhere, anytime. Let's get it. Y'all have a good one. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs. We go into the offs.